Okay, we are live.
Welcome to new session 1 of our GURPS Supers campaign called Nightcrawlers, using the Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop. I am Gigermann, today's GM. This session will be made available as an audio-only podcast. Also, visit our wiki for campaign details, rules, and characters. Links will be in the description.
Or don't.
Well, I generally recommend it.
It'll
All
also
right,
be
now.
available on YouTube.
Well, I'm kind of assuming they're already there in the future. So, this is the current starting crop of PCs we are going to be beginning the campaign proper with. And as
3x dead
stated,
guys.
we are going to reintroduce the characters, starting with Cassiel, whose player I hope has actually shortened his intro.
I have significantly shortened it.
Then go ahead. Introduce Cassiel.
Okay. I am Ronky, I'm playing Cassiel. After paramedic Michael Dempsey died on the job, his body became a vessel for Cassiel, who is an angel sent from heaven to cleanse Motor City of its vampire infestation. Cassiel is gifted with divine powers to wield against evil in a city in need of salvation.
And a jingling cell phone.
Watch.
Or whatever. Let's go clockwise. Rigel Kent, introduce Wash.
Hi there, I am Rigel, and I am playing Jamal Washington, who is a ripoff of Highlander, as he is an immortal, with the exception that Jamal has had his first death, only 5 years ago at the hands of vampires. So he sadly does not have the cool flashbacks from, 250 years ago. He does carry a saber that was once originally wielded by General George Washington, and may have another province that we are learning about. There can be only one, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Called Providence,
All
isn't
right.
it? With artifacts.
Well,
I don't know.
When you look up,
Jamal grew up as a street kid. He's not going to know that stuff.
when you have
Pendragon,
an
introduce Robert.
Robert is basically a ripoff of Eric Draven from The Crow. He was like a regular beat cop until he and his girlfriend, fiance, got ripped to shreds by vamps. He has recently risen, and he has just one purpose, which is to destroy all the goddamn vampires.
Worst thing about living in Motor City. All right, so character business. I was going to skip the character business since we're essentially starting again, but at this point, given the conversations of late, I think we probably need to let the other players know what how your character has changed since we last used them. So once again, we will start with Ronki and Cassiel. What are your basic updates that everybody else needs to understand?
well, Cass started out as a sword-wielding warrior. He's now changed. He's adopted a leadership role, or is much better when it comes to leadership and social stuff. He no longer uses the sword. He uses a divine sort of force push as his primary method of killing stuffs, but he does not use any other weapons. And that's, I think, covers the biggest changes.
All right, Rigel, Wash.
I don't think much really changed with Wash from the previous run. I do have one level of the detective with an exclamation point
Right.
skill. With the conceit that he is learning to become a detective, and he is very obviously a swordsman since he wants to decapitate people. Well, mostly he just wants to decapitate vampires right now.
All right, Pendragon. What are the Roberts changes?
Yeah. Gigermann pointed out that Robert was slightly over the character points limit, like 75 points. I don't know how I did that.
Oh,
I think that
wow.
was a typo. That was the importer. It brought in the template with the because it doesn't do parents correctly.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason. So I basically I'm no longer a gunslinger. I mainly now rely on swords. He's like less intelligent, but now he has a blessed Bane weapon power. So now I mean, I shouldn't worry that much about being destroyed by vamps like last time.
Called the
All right.
Nightcrawlers and not the team that were formerly dead.
Let's see. So, I was going to remind everybody that all the characters are locked in, but actually, I think in both Cass's and Robert's case, there is a little bit of tinkering we're going to end up needing to do after the fact. So, technically, they're locked in, but they're really not. I was going to add that given that everybody here is a supernatural creature in one form or another, I don't have a problem with you developing new powers and abilities as long as they are, within the power set. So if something's a bit lower, you need to add something new. As long as it fits, I don't actually have a problem with that. So just be aware. All
Yeah, I was
right.
going to ask that.
Well, yeah. Now that's outside of skills. Skills, well, it depends. I mean, I was thinking, for example, in Robert's case, since he used to be a beat cop, he might actually be suffering mentally from the rise and not be at his full police potential. And maybe he can start to regain some of that as he goes. So even skills to a certain extent, I don't have a problem with building that up. So even though the characters are locked in, yeah. All right, so we are going to restart everybody at 3 bennies. So if you have fewer than 3 bennies on your resource, or if you created a new character and actually forgot to put that on there, you should do that. And lastly, in this part at least, vampire lore. So we have established at this point what everybody's skill level is with hidden lore vampires. And that will be the go-to skill for knowing about vampire stuff. So FYI, the wiki vampire lore page is currently showing what you know at that level without having to roll for it. So I do recommend at some point you peruse this, but if it comes up, it comes up. Anything at your actual skill level will be rolled for. So basically, you're seeing everything from below like 9 skill level or something like that, and everything from 10 to 13. The newer information, that stuff you can roll for, and technically you can roll for stuff that's higher than that. They're just penalties. So there is a chance you could know something a bit more useful. All right, so GM business other than the character business. I have made a ruling after the last test session regarding supernatural durability and the crippling stuff. Hey, Cap. So there was a bit of a head scratcher with regard to the supernatural durability being immune to crippling injuries. And what I have decided is that they are immune to the side effects of crippling injuries. But dismemberment will still actually happen on a normal scale. So in that case, it doesn't take 3 times their normal hit points to sever a limb off. It takes the normal limb stuff.
They just don't have to make a pie or a check afterwards.
Yeah, anything below the actual severing, they're just going to ignore for the most part. Although it still may not work.
Since it's a vampire, he might pick his arm back up and stick it back on.
It's not out of the question. Or he may just pick it up and beat you with it. All right, so aggravated damage. We had the conversation about aggravated damage. I believe everybody at this point has adjusted their regen accordingly. Bear in mind that if you take aggravated damage, it will heal at 1 level lower than the regen rate that you have. So if you've got every second, it'll be every minute. Every minute will be every hour, I think is the next step or whatever. And just to establish in case it was lost in the mix there, fire is always aggravated for basically everybody that has regen. All types of creatures. Also, supernatural creatures' teeth and claws are generally considered aggravated. I don't know when they're not. And then anything in particular that you're vulnerable to, which you already are aware of.
Okay, so since you said that, and since you stated earlier that all of us are supernatural creatures, that means if we bite someone, that's aggravated damage.
You know? All right. So new maneuvers and some other rulings that you guys will want to be aware of. So I mentioned in that last test session that I was going to do this, and I now have. It is updated on the wiki under the campaign rules. It is also in the rules book in game. We have basically what I'm referring to as 2 new maneuvers: step and move, and change posture and attack. Basically, all that means is you can do a step, or you can rise from kneeling to standing as part of a move. It'll just take half your move points or whatever. And in the case of a move or a change posture, you can actually attack while you're changing posture as if it were a move and attack. I know that this is realistic because I've seen it done, and I've actually demonstrated it myself. The other one is targeting of 2 limbs. So this one keeps coming up. It comes up more often in grappling, I think, in the cases that I can recall. But I know that Cassiel took a swing with his sword at the wanted to swing at 2 legs of the guy, and under normal rules, I think you have to do that as a rapid strike, and I don't like that. So what I have decided, and this is my ruling, is that if you are in a situation where the GM approves that you could attack both limbs at the same time with the same attack, then it will be at double the penalty. So if you are -2 to hit a limb, it'll be -4 to hit them both. So that's all been recorded, and that is basically all my GM business for today. And with that, we will get on with the actual thing. Deedly-deet. At the Motor City News 4 news desk, this is Newson Fournier. And we have breaking news from Night City. KCPD is investigating the scene of a shootout at a storage yard on the southwest side around 1 a.m. this morning. The chief of police is scheduled to give a statement later this morning, but our sources tell us that an attack by the masked vigilante known as the Black Knight has been ruled out, and police instead suspect a South American cartel turf hit tied to human trafficking. Stay with News 4 for updates as they happen. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. And as the darkness of early morning looms over Night City and a damp chill hangs in the air, the hunters survey their handiwork at a large storage lot outside the city limits. And I just realized I did not include that image. Well, here we are. All right. So, catching up where we left off. This is the same night as the container yard shootout. Everybody has just run over to see that the shot collar for the criminal operation has disappeared from the truck as it came to a stop on its own. And at this point, I am going to ask everyone in turn for your immediate post-fight intentions. We will start from the left, or from the right, excuse me. Wash.
Right. So this was the he is going to be looking around and internally kicking himself because of how quick he was to basically pull the trigger.
All right. Musing internally. Just be aware that I'm just declaring intentions here. We're not going to make any rolls.
Right.
Just getting a direction. All right. So, Robert.
Well, I think Robert's going to go and do some investigating to see if the vamps are behind this whole thing, see what he can gather, basically.
Okay. Starting to look around.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what Wash would be doing too, with his crappy detective skill of 10.
He would just hesitate slightly because he's musing internally.
Yep.
All right, Cassiel.
He will be looking around to make sure the area is secure. If so, then he's going to start looking for the peeps that need help.
We're
Or
also
looking
all
after-
scratching our heads over the guy on the motorcycle who just rode in, got into the fight, then got on his motorcycle and rode out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was that the Black Knight?
No.
Motor City, right?
This is Night City currently.
Basically, it's Chicago.
Okay. So outside of that, Robert will know instinctively that you probably got in the neighborhood of 5 to 10 minutes before police arrive.
Well, so
Because
I will
somebody will have called.
So I will communicate that to the rest of the group. Like, maybe we should do this as quick as possible and scram.
All right. So, question for everybody. Again, in turn, you have just been witness to a human trafficking operation. How does Wash feel about that sort of thing?
Yeah, it pisses him off. People aren't cattle. We want to make sure the people are okay.
That's right. Everybody's charitable.
Yep. We're the good guys who were all formerly dead.
Exactly. All right. How about Robert? Anything in particular?
Well, he's dead inside, but I mean, rationally, he
That's
thinks
true.
that's wrong and should be stopped. But he's dead inside.
I suppose it's more of a memory in his case.
That's an interesting
Yep.
interesting thing there. If he's like, basically dead inside, then is he just like going through the motions when he does charitable, or
I'd say
You
it's
know?
more like a rational thing.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see it being just a rationality thing, and I could also see it going through the habit. He had a habit of being that way before.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe?
it could be that the habit reinforces that it's objectively the right thing to do. Maybe.
All right. Does Cassiel have any particular thoughts on human trafficking in general?
I think he's probably going to be mostly indifferent, but generally it's a bad thing because, people have been trafficked all through history.
That's true. It's not exactly new. All right. Well, having established everybody's general direction of travel, a bit of catch up. So the events of the previous session occurred as depicted, more or less. As it ended, 3 things happened. The 2 bad guys in the SUV sped away while you guys were turned to look at the box truck.
That's what happened to the guy with the motorcycle. He chased them.
Maybe. Or he just ran. Who knows? Number 2, the shot caller, who was not in the box truck when you looked, was actually spotted in the SUV with those guys. Wash, having been the closest to the SUV at the time, is probably the one that noticed that, as the shot caller turned to look directly at him with the glare.
Hey, he's getting away.
You will, your brain will take a cycle or two to realize that he disappeared from one truck and appeared in the other one.
It's a strange world.
It is.
I once walked on the bottom of a lake.
I actually had it in my notes here that you would also hear the distant police sirens, but they have to be much closer before you can really hear that. So strike that one. But you guys know that you got a limited amount of time.
Right. Well, if we've got any actionable or like, intel stuff that we can really quickly gather before, although, do we really care? We probably just want to chase after the SUV, don't we?
Well, we'll get to that in a second. So first question at this point, after all that, is what are the characters' conclusions about the shot caller at this point? And as a reminder, so I will note for the record that, and this differs somewhat from the previous, it is a bit of a retcon. While the Hobo Union was involved in pointing out that the operation was taking place, it was actually Eddie who put together the whole buyer's connection. So he was the one that gathered all that info and is the reason why you know that name in the first place, and are attempting to, I presume, confirm whether or not this is in fact him.
Right. That's Kolchak. That's the Nosh's character.
Yeah, I think that name may change, but yeah, that's him. Who may in fact be here next time.
Super weird. All right.
All right.
What do we think about the shot caller? I think he'd make a really good cop. But boom.
Some other facts that you have in that regard. Again, he had disappeared from one truck and appeared in the other without being observed traveling between the two. Also, reminder, Cassiel attempted to detect supernatural creatures in the vicinity and did not ping on this guy. I don't know if he discussed
he pinged on us, though, right?
He would have, yes.
Except Kolchak, who's like completely normal.
So, what would Cassiel's conclusion be at this point?
He would probably conclude that this guy is some sort of mage, since magic's a thing, right?
Okay. It is.
I think he's a mutant. He can teleport.
That's a thing too. All right. What about Robert?
If I recall correctly from the last session, he's kind of like the middleman, right? He's not like he's taking orders from someone.
Yeah. That's the story
So
anyway, assuming this is that guy.
Yeah, so I guess that's what Robert concludes.
All right. And with that, so the SUV speeds off. You guys all react to that immediately. Jamal at the least, possibly some of the others had noticed that the shot caller was in the back of the truck, and off it goes. So at this point, what is your immediate reaction? Are you going to immediately pursue, or are you going to stay behind and investigate and or tend to people?
I am going to tend to the people because I failed a charitable check. First dice roll of the night, and it's a fail. Sweet.
Yeah, so everybody has charitable. Cass and Robert have selfless, but Cass has impulsive and Robert has an obsession with getting his vengeance.
Oh,
So there is some conflict there.
I have an
Yeah.
obsession too, but it's that guy's not well. My obsession is rid the world of monsters. So now I need to determine what does he classify as a monster? Can a person be a monster?
Well,
I'm technically
your
a monster.
connection here is that he's connected to monsters.
Well, if I may, I think it would make sense for Robert to stay. He's charitable. And even though he has the vow, I don't think that's let's say he's not immediately in front of a potential vampire for him to kill. So I think it would be in this balancing act, it would make more sense for him to stay behind, help people, and gather information. Especially because he's dead inside, so he's really not impulsive.
All right, well, bear in mind you have no idea where they're going.
Yeah, still.
All right.
Well,
Go ahead.
Cass doesn't need to be impulsive. I don't think selfless really came into play because doesn't need to put himself at risk here, so I probably shouldn't have rolled that. But he doesn't need to be charitable. So if these guys are looking after the people to make sure that everyone's okay, then he's going to announce, "You look after these people. I'm going to see if I can follow them. I don't want them to get away."
Yes, straight away splitting the party.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning the GM's like, oh, mother. Well, we're not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time here. So,
Yeah.
And as Cass leaves, he'll say, "Don't forget, the police will be here soon."
Okay, well, for the record, you know that you have a number of minutes, so there's only so much anybody can do. And also your vehicles are parked off site, so you're going to have to get out to them.
yeah, well, I think with regards to the charitable thing, right now, Wash is just going to double check, make sure that everybody's okay. I mean, there are no of the people who are being trafficked. None of them are like, gut shot or bleeding out or anything like that,
Well, as
or
it
running
happens,
away.
Or
so
have weird neck bites.
charitable essentially means if somebody needs assistance, you have to render aid. And I can tell you that, well, there are 3 that were beheaded, so they're beyond help at this point. There are 2 that had limbs severed and are in a bad way. You've got 1, 2, 3 that have been shot a lot, and then a couple that had surrendered, one of which was running away. So, you can render first. You can bandage in 1 minute, but you don't have time to render actual full first aid before the cops get here. Now, I will mention, just for everybody's sake, that the cops are coming. So it's not like anybody's going to be left to fend for themselves, I mean.
From last session, who are the people in worse condition? Do we have like because there's a difference between being shot and being like fatally shot, you know? Sorry, my cat did something. Just a second.
Cats. Cats and
Sorry,
gaming
he
don't
dropped.
mix very well. The two severed limbs, and at least two of them were shot quite a number of times, like dozens of times. Those guys are not in good shape.
Jamal, would you like to take one armless guy and I take the other one?
Let's slap a quick tourney on and go.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. That's because I do have first aid.
I don't. So
But do
the
you
fate that
have
it plays.
gear for it?
Yes, I'm gonna take the guy's belt and use that.
Well, that counts, I guess.
Yeah, same here. That was my plan all along.
All right,
Then
so
naturally, the guy I pick up is wearing freaking what is it, exercise pants. So there's no belt.
So you guys are going to do a patch and go. Cassiel is taking off. Is it question mark?
Yeah. I think
Yes,
so.
he
Please.
will be.
Okay. How is he going to let anybody know where he is?
Well, he has a cell phone,
I have a cell phone.
so
Me too.
he will follow, and then he'll sort of give updates.
All right. All right. First off, let's see. I'm going to give me a volunteer.
I'll do it.
All right. Roll 1d minus 3 in the box.
Fenord.
Okay. We have that many minutes before the cops arrive. So, if you guys just do a 1 minute bandage and get to your bikes, then you may or may not hear the sirens. If you decide to hang behind and do anything else, we'll see about that. In the meantime, Cassiel is going to take off. Well, Cassiel's got to go get his bike in the first place, and so at that point, he's basically going to lose immediate sight of the SUV, and he's going to have to catch up to them wherever they go. Fortunately, in this case, you guys did drive down here, and you know that this area right here, the roads are only going so far, so you may be able to catch them.
Probably see their
A
lights.
chase at extreme range or whatever it is.
I am not going to do that, but what I will do is have you... First, are you attempting to not be seen?
If he sees, well, if he's going to follow and shadow if he can.
Right.
But if they're like beyond, shadowing distance, then he's not really caring. But he is also avoiding the sirens. So if he sees police heading straight for him, he'll turn down the side street, go up the side street, then come back.
All right. So, what we'll do is the lower of shadowing or driving.
Well, the lower of shadowing or driving would be shadowing on default.
God help you.
Which I think defaults to driving minus whatever.
That's cheating. Does it?
I think so. Shadowing's when on foot.
Oh.
And it's driving skill when you're not on foot. Something like that. It's like
No, it's stealth on foot only. And IQ minus 5 or observation minus 5 otherwise. So you kind of had the right idea.
Okay. Observation minus 5 is probably going to be the best. He's going to use luck.
Mm-hmm. Actually, well, yeah, okay, go ahead.
He fails it. The best is failed by 2.
Okay. Let's see. So, let's see how these guys do. All right. So you catch up. You're not sure if they see you or not, but it does appear to be that SUV. And within about 5-10 minutes or so, yeah. Now, bear in mind, if you try to make a phone call while you're driving, you're doing two things at once.
What could go wrong?
And also, you will really piss somebody off if they happen to be driving behind you and see that, because I fucking hate that.
Need a hands-free thing.
Yeah, he's got a little burner that somebody gave him.
This is true. And he's on a motorcycle.
That also somebody gave him. All right, so what is Cassiel's plan at this point? He has spotted it. It's a couple of miles away from the original location.
All right, so every sort of main intersection that we sort of, if we turn on to like the motorway or something like that, then Cass will sort of pull over. He'll be wasting time because he's not familiar with these iPhones, and he's going, oh, damn it, do I swipe shit like that? And he'll send like text messages. They turn down, Fifth and Fletcher.
Well, I tell you what, you guys were on an operation deliberately. You had to travel a long distance. I think it's probably reasonable that you guys have some kind of group tracking. So,
this is true, because Jamal is into computers, so he could have probably recommended that. It's like, hey, if we're going to be doing this, we should have the group tracking stuff.
Well, that'll come from Wash, because it wouldn't occur to Cass.
Yep.
So he go, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and then he'll say, how do we do that?
Sort of hand the phone over to Jamal, and he's like,
all right, so retcon, you guys have a group tracking app, whatever, so you guys can figure out where Cass is and hope he's not gotten too far for you guys to catch up. All right. So, Wash and Robert, 1 minute to bandage. Are you doing anything else, or are you leaving?
No, just that.
I think I'm just going to bandage and then do a really quick sweep visual to see if there's anything that stands out, like, hey, there's a briefcase over there, or anything like that, and then just go. Not expecting to find anything, but it's just. Also, did you see the link there that I put? Because it occurred to me. Yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed sort of jacket, but I think it's from Syndicate, something like that. But it's a nice leather jacket, and I figure, he's got that. He's got the hood up, got something covering the bottom of his face, because unlike Robert, he actually does give a damn about being identified.
All right, so Robert and Watch will then be 1 minute for bandaging, another minute or so for getting back to the vehicles. No, Wash won't spot anything immediately useful in that regard, because there's not immediately anything useful. So that means you guys are going to be basically 2 minutes behind Cassiel. Not too bad.
Well, they should only be 1 minute.
You catch up. Do what?
They should only be 1 minute.
2 minutes. One for bandaging, one for getting to the vehicles.
Yeah, and Cass would have spent 1 minute getting to the vehicles as well. But anyway, go on.
Well, that's true. Technically. Okay, I see. All right, so you guys aren't too bad off. The marker is the starting location. That is the storage yard. So, At this point, you are going to maintain your distance. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so still shadowing. I am not going to make you roll again. We'll just assume that that's your general result overall. They will end up at the second marker, which is... No, I don't have that thing up there. Ping mode. Here we go. Down low. And they are going to follow a general route like so. This transit will take about between 20 and 30 minutes. So it's a fair distance. And keeping outside a little bit on the highway there, or a couple of different highway spots, but mostly sticking to back roads and that sort of thing, as you might expect. And let's see here. So you did not have any trouble keeping up. All right. Next part. You will end up, so basically it's out in the fringe suburb type areas. They will proceed down a dark street, somewhat sparsely populated out here, and pull into this cracker box house in a big hurry, just jamming up in front of that sidewalk instead of properly parking. From a distance, you can note that there are some other vehicles present at that point. And at this point, I will ask, how are you going to proceed from here? And to facilitate that, I shall share an image. So, you guys will be coming from the south, that direction.
Can you tweak the color of the grid to make it not pop as much?
I would normally, but I am not going to in this case. You can zoom in a little bit and probably see it.
No,
But
there's
a reason.
Zoom out. You can zoom
There's
out
a reason.
and it fades.
That's true. So yeah, you guys will be coming from the bottom of the map. There are some other houses down that direction, fairly well spaced out, and plenty of wood lines and such. So, immediate plan.
Cass will wait for the rest to turn up. And he'll just observe.
Okay. Where?
Well, I guess at the edge of the map, where he's got some cover. He's not seen, and he can sort of disappear into some of the bushes and trees and stuff.
The road.
More concealment than cover.
And he will just stake the place out till the backup arrives.
And so you guys, the rest of you are maybe a minute behind. Might have caught up to him by this point. And you guys can follow up. So we will assume that your vehicles will remain in that general vicinity down at the bottom of the map in the wood line, just off the road. Very well. You can see ahead of you, there is the SUV where it's parked, and you can see a couple other vehicles in the vicinity. It looks like there is potentially some light inside the building. However, it looks like the curtains, shutters, whatever it's got, are drawn, and it is blocking the light, so you can see just little slivers of it. Now, at that, let's see. I really should have done that part first. So, observation. Cass was keeping an eye out while the rest were approaching, so I'll let you go ahead and roll observation. And now, actually, I guess the rest of you can as well.
All right. So once we do roll up there, I am going to put on my night vision goggles.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't
Gigermann,
bother doing the vision thing here because I don't think.
No, that's
need it.
fine. Mostly, I just
I,
wanted to do a sweep for heat sinks. Well, I failed that check.
I was wondering if Robert could also try listening to see if he, if there's any conversation, if he can catch, I don't know, a rough estimate of how many people are there.
Do you have super hearing?
No, you guys are way too
No,
far away to be hearing conversations, I think. But
okay.
fair enough. So, at the very least, cop instincts being what they are, you can count the cars. So there's an SUV. You know that there were 2 people in it, plus potentially the shot caller. So 3 there. And you can see 3 other vehicles parked there at least, if there isn't another one hidden behind the house. So minimum of 6.
Yeah, it could be up to what, 18?
Who knows?
Okay, good enough.
So probably got a half dozen, up to a dozen. But given the number of crew that were at the storage site, it would be weird for them to keep the same number back here at the headquarters or whatever. That would not be your expectation.
Okay.
All right, so we got your arrival. So first off, before any sort of fisticuffs begin, I want to define your combat objectives here. I use the word combat loosely. You don't know that there's going to be combat.
Sure we do. There's a grid.
But what are your objectives at this point?
At this
Captain the
point,
shot caller.
Cass is probably interested in just observing because we don't know if there's a link to vampires at all. Actually, I can do my detect supernatural stuff.
Well, that doesn't allow you to see through walls.
No, but I think it says, is there supernatural stuff within this area? I think that's how it works.
Yeah, but you can't see through the walls. You wouldn't be able to see inside the house.
Okay. So you need line of sight on the thing then. So you need to see it.
Yeah, it's still just perception. It's just you're able to see supernatural beings.
Right.
So you could get closer, I suppose. But outside of that, so is everybody on board with hanging back?
Yeah, for the time being.
Wonder if
Yeah, because we're probably just trying to gain intel. Maybe get closer, or try to get line of sight or something like that. Out what's going on.
Okay,
so go ahead.
We had information initially that shipyard or whatever that had some sort of vampire activity involved. We didn't expect a human trafficking thing, right? We expected some sort of vampire activity. No?
No, what your understanding of the situation was that the guy in charge of the operation, which was human trafficking, was a known vampire associate and was probably doing something for vampires.
Okay. So the assumption is that these guys here that are in this house are working for the vampire in some way.
That would be a reasonable assumption. So, if you are going to wait, what are you going to wait for?
I think I'd like to get closer.
Now, Wash had
Head
that
over
quirk level impulsive, didn't he?
No, yes.
No, he was curious.
He is very curious, and he's gonna fail that. Even if I try to roll it because it's six or less just to resist. No, he has decisive, which is basically quirk level impulsive, where he makes decisions very quickly.
Right.
But yeah, so I think he's going to try to probably sneak a lot closer, probably pull back out of visual across the street, and then use those woods as cover. Whoops, that's not the right one. Use those woods as cover to
Oh, okay.
circle around, because I don't think you can do that on the right side of the map. Because of this area here is probably, it looks kind of exposed to me.
A bit, yeah.
So I think it'd be just easier to. How do I do the
Well.
extra one?
Hold that thought for the time being.
That's his decisive.
Yeah, Cass is also impulsive.
I already rolled for that.
Oh, did you? Okay. I wanted to check to see what was on the other side there.
100% chance he failed that.
Oh,
Failed
okay.
the curious.
If you'd prefer to go up the right hand side, that's all. It's very overgrown over there.
Okay. Then yeah, I guess.
There's actually, it looks like a junkyard or something, or just a trash heap over off the map
Because
that
if there's
direction.
junkyard, I want to avoid that because that might have a dog, and the dog.
No,
would
it's
start
not a
barking.
junkyard.
Gotcha.
Trash dump.
We're in the slums. Hey, I grew up in places like this.
This is technically not a slum. This is outside slums. Slums are in the city. This is outside of the city.
Cass wants to do some tactical thinking.
I ain't got time for that. Moving on. Start sneaking up.
Well, it depends on whether or not he makes his roll by 8.
Wow, that's a good roll.
And in doing that tactical thinking, he's using some forethought for the, what happens after. And he decides that going to disable all these vehicles here will ensure that we can extract without having to potentially have a chase or anything like that. So he'll go and tell Robert, provided there's no one sort of outside watching over the vehicles and stuff. Let's go take out all these tires. Do you have a knife? Something sharp?
He just beheaded 2 guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Of course, apparently he shot some people too, and then threw his guns away.
Oh, I got it back.
They jammed and misfed, and he was pissed off at them. Or they weren't his. He took them off somebody else, and is like, well, I probably should have checked to see if these were clean.
Well,
okay,
tactics will tell him if that's a good idea or not. But if it is a good idea, he'll go and do that. And then probably move closer so we can get better eyes on.
Well, we got at least 2 people that are moving up, which means I'm guessing Robert's not going to hang back if that's the case.
I think
So
Cass asked me to help, so I'm following him.
all right, so we're going to drop you guys onto the map. Apologies for the hexes.
It's all right.
So you can't make them more transparent?
Well, I could, but then I'd have to change it back later. You'll understand. Okay, so you guys are starting from down there. So what I would like for you to do is use the alt drag, I think it is, to do waypoints and set your waypoints.
I assume there's plenty of scrub along here?
Yeah, it's pretty overgrown over there. They seriously need to mow. Yeah, you'll be well covered, if a bit noisy.
That's why I'm going to be using stealth. And why my waypoints are 1 hex away.
That's not really what I was thinking when it came to the waypoints. All right, so I see where Cass is going. Is everybody going to follow along more or less, or you got your own thing?
No, I'm just following. I'm a follower.
Okay.
Damn it. Why did it do that?
All right.
No, it's control.
No, it's alt.
No, you're right. You're right. It's alt to turn it on.
Yeah, I think you alt drag to do the first one, and then you can just click after that or something. I
You
forget
can.
exactly how
Just
that worked.
don't click on your starting point because it'll erase all your
Uh-huh.
things.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. So is Wash going to be keeping up with Cass, or is he?
Yeah,
going off
probably.
on his own,
I have
basically?
no idea where he's going. I don't see his.
You don't?
Nope.
Me neither.
You might have to
Uh,
turn on player vision or something like that.
I thought that was already on.
Well, let me see if it's something I have to turn on.
I don't think so. That's player vision. Well, that's player vision preview. That's not the same thing. I thought everybody could see those.
No.
So did I.
Can you see it if you click on their token?
Are you clicking on a token?
Like if you
No.
go click on the Cassiel's token, will it show you
Nope.
the?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay,
Right.
well that's somewhat less useful for coordinating then.
Let me do it like this.
Well,
Actually,
I
no,
was going
you
to say,
can click on the
FYI,
first one.
he was going up here and then to the SUV and then up that way and like so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what I was. Except I was swinging through the trees over
Yeah,
there
you
on
went
the
a
right.
little bit wider than he did. Okay, so if everybody's agreed on the route, I think we can work with that. So at this point, go ahead and advance to that point that is being pointed to. Or I guess I can grab you guys and move you up. Damn it. All right. So you guys will advance up to that point at least. And at this point, I will have you guys do a stealth. So each of you can roll your stealth in the box. Actually, I guess you don't need to roll it in the box. You're going to know.
It's like the thing is turned on
Why would that suddenly be turned on?
because Fantasy Grounds is dumb.
Okay, how about now?
That's better. All right,
That explains
stealth.
that.
Okay, so with that in mind, I want to try something. And
Again?
now, Pin, do you see my?
Yep, I do see.
Okay, so that was what the problem was. The I can never remember what that's called.
So should I enable in mine as well then?
Well, since you didn't actually describe what it was, I don't know what it was.
The thing that for tokens, where it's like I have to get your approval for all movements. You just turned it off,
Oh.
and after you turned it off, I did the alt move, and Penn saw it. So that's why nobody could see.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, words are hard.
Well, sometimes they are. All right, so you guys are gonna creep forward.
Oh crap! Did
And
everybody fail? Actually, I don't know.
looks
I
like.
rolled mine in the box.
And just as so you guys get up to the SUV. How are you going to deal with the SUV? As you approach, you see that there is no one in the SUV.
I'll probably try very discreetly to check if it's unlocked or locked.
Ah, okay. I would say it's probably unlocked.
It depends on how old it is, because I know a lot of newer cars will automatically lock after a while.
Never seen
Yeah.
that. Tell you what, Universe. Where's my universe? Or I guess you can just roll reaction.
Okay, here we go. Yay!
All right. This is not one that automatically turns off. It's just old enough. Or automatically locks. All right, so the door is unlocked.
Okay, so maybe discreetly open the door.
Okay. What's everybody else doing while Robert is B&E into the SUV?
Asking someone if he can borrow a knife to shiv these tires.
I hand him my knife.
You had a knife?
I do have a knife. I have lots of weapons.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Yep, you can never have enough knives.
So
All right.
Cass will stab the tires, but he's not gonna. He's gonna do it slowly and carefully because he doesn't want the tires to explode. He just wants them to
Right.
slowly leak. So over a couple of minutes, the tires are flat.
Okay. What about Wash?
I think he's going to be advancing forward up the side of the SUV and trying to see if there's any movement inside or, hijinks and shenanigans.
Okay. All right. Then let's do this. We shall move you guys up to the SUV. Wherefore you guys are interacting with it.
Then
Robert.
it explodes.
Robert has the door open. Cass is poking at the tires, and Wash is peeking around the side. When you see the front door open in that area. Actually,
And here comes the guy with the machine gun.
Well, no, it's not a machine gun. It is a box. And he steps out. He steps out the door. He's doing that whole thing where he's butt bumping the door out of the way so he can get out with the two hands. And apparently, Wash was completely exposed.
Plus the door it's Robert's fault because the door's open.
So he stepped off to the side to get out of the way of the door.
Just illuminating me.
Yep. You actually rolled in the box. You rolled a 17.
Ah, crap.
Again. Yeah. So
why
he
are you
basically
screaming at them?
looks you right in the eyes, and he exclaims and turns right back around and slams the door behind him.
Well, that probably makes sense because I'm wearing this leather coat with a Assassin's Creed hood, and I have a balaclava on, so I probably do look a little suspicious to him.
Yeah, probably.
Depends if he's a gamer or not.
I think if he were a gamer, he would consider that more suspicious.
Well, crap.
All right, you've been spotted.
So we just need to hide until the threat level goes down, right?
Well, if it goes down.
Right. New plan. What's the new plan? All right. I'm made. I am jumping up and charging toward the door.
All right.
He's decisive, remember?
Hope everybody follows.
He's probably going to say, oh, damn it, made. They heard the guy shout, too.
Okay, for the record, there are windows there and there.
I want to go through one of the windows because that's just cool dynamic entry.
Okay, I know you're going to throw the cinematic flag on that one.
Uh-huh. Cooler dynamic entry.
Okay. Then what is everybody else going to do? So Wash is going to charge off and yell beefcake or whatever.
No, he said, he made me, and jumps up and sprints towards the building.
Robert. Of course, you're in the passenger seat at this point, probably.
Yeah, I was planning on doing a search check, but I think that's out of the window now. So, no pun intended. So, now I think I'll just to show I'm not a one-trick pony, I'll get my pistol, and I'll try to cover for Wash.
Ah, you should jump in and charge in like a crazy person.
No, I'm going behind you, but I'm going behind you, paying attention
Going behind you, gun
to
first.
people.
Great.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about shooting you in the back. You'll shrug it off. All right. What about Cass?
Well, he doesn't need to be subtle about the tire, so he'll just psst, and then go to back up.
All right. So it's basically
Did you
going to
leave
be
the knife in the tire?
I guess it's going to
You're
be
going to owe me
Wash,
one
then
knife.
Cass, then Robert, because Robert's got to get out of the truck.
Makes sense.
All right. I think we will consider that the plan of action for the moment. And we will take a brief intermission before we get on with the fisticuffs.
Yes, please.
Intermission.
Going on break. All right, we are back.
And we're back. Okay, so we have the plan of action. I suppose Wash is going to be about halfway to the door-ish. And the other two can approach as intern. And at this point, I am going to do that. You should be seeing the floor plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, obviously you don't know what the floor plan of this place is, but for ease of use. And now you probably are becoming aware of the reason for the color of the grid.
Yep.
All right. So, at this point, I will initiate the fisticuffs.
All
right.
So Cass is going to hand back the knife to Robert and then move. So I guess he'll take a step.
Well, you're on the wrong side of the door for that.
So you have to throw it at him. Don't worry, he's dead. He won't notice it.
You can
He
give
might
me
not.
after the combat. You can give me after combat. Don't worry.
All right. Well, if he's not where he is there on the map, then Cass will just proceed. Except he will go.
Oh, I guess Wash was headed toward the window.
Yep. Alrighty here. Let's see what do we got. Let's see. So, yeah. So he wants to run and jump through the window.
Okay. Did he have acrobatics?
He does not. That is on my list of
roll in that case.
Yeah, that is on my list of skills I overlooked and probably need.
Mm-hmm.
Is the window
Mental note.
barred or with have security screens?
Okay. The windows are
Cinematic,
covered,
butter.
so you can see that there are drapes drawn over the windows.
Well,
it
if they're
doesn't.
barred on the inside, this is going to be really funny in just a
Yeah.
second.
I was going to say that they don't appear to be barred, at least in the usual manner. Because, come on. You have to break a DR1, cover DR1 to get through.
Nice.
How do I do that?
You're essentially doing a slam, so you'll do... I think you can just do thrust damage. That's the simplified version.
Okay. Double checking something just a second. Okay, right.
Damn. Would have been funny if your critical failed and cut yourself on the glass and decapitated yourself.
Wow, that would be the worst Highlander death ever.
And then
No,
the
it
house
would
becomes
not.
the house becomes immortal.
I was going to say
Turns
that the
into
house
Bubba
ends up
Yaga.
killing-
Bubba Yaga's hut.
I don't think that's how that works.
All right. So exploding through the glass. Ideally, I would like to end up on my feet, but if not, oh well.
I'll just move.
All right.
Oh, right. I forgot. Even if that thing does, if I did take some damage, I have DR5.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah,
Might
pretty
not
good.
count, though, because that's currently limited to melee attacks.
Let's see. So you made your dex by 4, so I'd say yeah, you probably landed properly.
Damn, is it back to me already?
Did I? Oh, I think I got skipped. I did get skipped
You don't
because
have
they're hidden.
anyone on the combat track.
Oops. Okay, apparently I have to unhide them so they don't get skipped.
No, there's an option in there, I think, where it's
Yeah.
like skip hidden actor is set to on. You need to turn that off.
Well, yeah. Okay. I should probably do that. Skip hidden actor. Where the hell is that? Combat. Skip hidden actor. On. Turn that off. Normally, it probably should be on, but in this case, it probably should not. All right. Well, guess what? You're gonna turn around and see this guy. He is at a
Is that
desk.
a shotgun?
He does, in fact, have a shotgun.
If he's sitting
Yes.
at a desk, that's probably not the case.
It's a compact shotgun. He's got that in one hand. He's scooping up electronics and stuff, and has turned to look at you and is not surprised in the game sense, but surprised look on his face of somebody just crashed through the damn window.
Yeah, who's wearing a hooded leather coat and wearing a baklava, ball, whatever. Not the dessert pastry.
Balaclava. And you hear the eagle cry in the background.
Right. Okay. So, I guess I need to probably do this.
Ah.
Swing. And then I want to close over there. I'm not necessarily going to attack yet, but I'm being prepared to try to take out that shotgun.
Right. I'm prepared for the mook
So
horror
move.
show. Okay. So now I'm not getting skipped, but you still can't see him. All right. So
You have to unhide them.
let's see. Now everybody's going to hear crashing of windows, so they can react.
Why weren't they already reacting when the guy jumped back into the building?
Well, he was in the process of yelling at everybody to, we got somebody coming in. Intruders.
Hey, there's some weirdo
Okay.
outside. Crash. Oh my God, we're home invaders.
All right. This guy has a shorty compact shotgun, and he is going to blast you at zero range, which makes it nice and easy because I don't need to bother with any penalties. There you are.
I am at reach 1. Does that mean I can potentially parry that with the sword?
I think a normal long arm, that would be the case. Actually, I guess it. Look that up while I deal with the rest of this. In the meantime, I'm at least going to take my shot. So he is not in close combat at this point, so I don't get any extra penalties here. I just need to make the base shot roll. Center mass.
What book is that in?
That's going to be in basic under the advanced close combat stuff, I would think. Maybe in the special ranged options or something. I don't remember exactly. All right, I've got a good hit, so I guess now we need an answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still looking.
Okay, no, not over there. That means it has to be in here. So defense and close combat. Well, actually, this isn't close combat, so that doesn't count. Okay, no. Well, here, let's make this simple and just say, yeah, you can. And if we get called on it later, we will mea culpa. All right. So he is going to take a shot.
I guess. Okay, I should have been in close combat then.
Well, no, because in that case, you're close combat with the not close combat weapon. Yes, unless you use the knuckle guard.
Okay. Well, you're saying I can, so I will go for it. Success by 1.
All right. And he only fired once, so that is going to be a miss for him. And parry unarmed. Nope. Yep, I'm not going to look for it. All right. So successful parry. Shot goes off. It goes into the wall behind you. And that's that. Such a shame. All right, that guy's doing that stuff.
That should have inflicted damage. I don't necessarily want to.
Well, you hit the weapon.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, my only issue with that is it's a short weapon, and I don't know if it counts as reach 1 or close.
Well, good news. There's that visible electrical effect, lightning
That's
effect
true.
when I strike things with this sword.
Okay, so he's going to stay there, and we're moving on.
So we'll move up to the window and try and get a glimpse in to see how Wash is doing.
I guess you'd probably see him see a gout of flame going off, and Wash seems unaffected by it, I suppose. He doesn't look like an emergency necessarily.
That would probably be the extent of Cass's turn.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, sorry, I thought it was my turn. Sorry.
Yeah, since that was a parry, I guess this would count as a counterattack.
Yes, but what I would like to do is a disarm roll with the counterattack.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be a deceptive one as well.
All right. I can't recall the last time we actually did one.
What, disarm?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at it's on 401. It's knocking a weapon away. Only a weapon that can parry can attempt to disarm, which limits disarming to unarmed, melee, and certain thrown. You have an extra -2 unless you use a fencing weapon, which I am. If you hit and your foe fails to defend, roll a quick contest of weapon skills. If you're attempting to knock away a missile weapon, your opponent rolls against dex. Either of you may opt to use strength instead. If you win, you disarm.
So he is obviously going to roll dex in this case.
Right.
I believe you have to actually hit the weapon, in which case...
if you hit... does it say that?
Yeah, you're effectively striking a weapon. That is...
Okay, so what's the penalty for that?
Does it not say that? Yeah. Yeah, it assumes that. Okay. So I'm thinking it's going to be the -4. Well, that's a pistol. No. -4 for reach 1. -5 for smaller than that. Yeah, I'm going to call it -4, even though it's a shorty.
All right. Let's see. So that's putting me there. So that's 14. That's 12. Well, it's a counterattack. So -1. I'm trying to determine whether I want to draw. Yeah, I'll do deceptive 1. It's not super awesome, but it's possible. Let's see. Success by 0. That is counterattack at deceptive -1. So
okay. And he's got two hands on. Actually, no, he probably doesn't at this point. He had stuff in his hands.
So he
Okay.
has to defend.
That is number 3. He is not going to roll that. He's going to roll the other thing.
It's really weird that it basically makes you make 2 rolls. It's like,
Does it?
okay, you may, yeah, because
Oh.
it's like I have to make the attack roll, and if he fails to defend,
Right.
then we do a quick contest of weapon skill or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, so he is going to do a retreating dodge, I suppose. And what was my dodge? That. And fail the dodge. So now he has to do the contest.
Yeah, so do I. That's I'll just use that one.
Which he's not that great at.
Success by 7.
Okay. Yeah, you swat the rifle out of the way. Or you tell me what you did.
Yep. So if I win, I disarm the foe. His weapon flies 1 yard in a random direction. So I want it to fly behind me. And also, he retreated. What is the rule about taking a step forward when they do that? I don't remember. I know you've done that
if
before.
you have movement left.
I
or if you
did.
haven't
I
done
had
a
1
step.
point. All right. So he is disarmed, and it's going to hit the ground, and ta-da! I don't want to get shot by a shotgun. That shit hurts.
Yeah, I'll just approach the window.
Well, at least that window's open. Nobody wants to go through the door.
That's no fun.
Was the door left open?
No, he closed the door behind him. It may not be fully latched.
Yeah, somebody needs to smash into the door and cause it to fall down.
This guy's going to
explode
stop
in.
and think about that. All right. These guys are doing that. I think at this point we're going to do that. This guy, however, just got disarmed and frankly is unsure how to approach this situation. Somebody's got a sword. The hell do I do with that? I think I'm just going to run. Yeah, that's good. We're going to run. It may not be the smartest thing, but it's the most sensible thing for him to do at the moment. All right.
Oh, God. Unfortunately for him, now he's in the perfect line of fire for Robert to run over there and go, wee! And Cuisinart him.
Okay. And this guy is hearing all that going on, so he's going to head over here. Like so. Because one thing we don't know is how many of you there are.
Round 4. Fight!
So he can see that this guy's running now.
Uh-huh.
So Cass will head for the door.
All right.
Do you have the stats for the shotgun? Because I'm
Yes.
thinking he's going to pick it up.
Okay.
That's
Kneel and pick up?
Yes. Put my back to the desk.
Right.
And I guess I'm
that is
kneeling.
a door right there next to you, by the way.
Oh,
FYI.
to go outside. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Interesting setup. But
Yeah.
right, yeah. So you should have that open, dumbass. Wrong one. You should have that. Oh, you do have that open. So kneel.
Ah, gotcha. All right.
Okay, I will. From where I am, can I try to get the guy to surrender? I mean, he can see me through the window. Is that enough?
He may not have noticed you.
Okay, so I'll just, enter that step. And now that he sees me, I want to try to get him to surrender.
Okay, that'll be more than a step, but you can probably still yell at him at least.
Thank you.
Now, you had the gun out, right?
I have the gun, and I have, so to speak, my monster. So it's a fucking monster looking at him.
All right.
You
So,
sound like
and
you're in
you
a
are
hole, by the way.
you are attempting to intimidate, I suppose.
Yep, I'll say,
Okay.
drop to the ground. You don't want to do this.
Revert to
Okay.
your training. Freeze, police!
Yeah.
Yep. Drop.
Not really police, but shut up and get on the ground.
All right. I tell you what. I will have you go ahead and roll your intimidation. I will roll my resistance.
I do have a +3 bonus because of the social stigma.
Okay, but he doesn't know you're a monster. He just knows you're ugly.
Oh, so I don't get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that might not go well.
Although he knows you're ugly.
Yeah.
Well, they're not the most willful bunch. And he has definitely noted your command. What was it that you said?
I said, drop it. Drop.
All right, just doing the cop thing. Get on the ground, get on the ground. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, carry on.
I will then just, I guess, move a little bit more. Oh,
You got a point or two left.
yeah, I'll just stand by the door. That's it.
All right. Okay. Now what the hell do I do? Let's see. Oh, right. Okay, so this guy was going to go here and do that. These guys are probably headed back that direction, so he'll be here. That guy has just been surprised and at least a little bit intimidated. So, given that you have succeeded, he will comply and hit the dirt like he knows this drill.
Smart guy.
All right, that means he needs to be prone you. There you go. Moving on. This guy is also doing that. Okay. And that guy is doing his thing. And that guy is, he was headed that way. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Actually, yeah, so at that point, the interior door next to Robert will open itself. Cha-chunk.
Cass is going to stand to the side of the door. He's fully expecting, someone on the other side. As soon as they see the door open, they're going to shotgun through the door. So he's standing to the side of the door, and he will push the door open.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
so
you
he's
did
not
open
in
the
the
door then.
Yes, he will be attempting to open the door, but he's doing it from the side, using
Right,
the wall
gotcha.
as cover. He doesn't want to be in the line of fire when someone puts a hole through that door with a shotgun.
I think it's typically going to open from right to left, so it would go away from you toward the bottom. That way.
Well, I'm just
Just
thinking in
FYI.
my house would have the door opening towards the shoes.
It's because it's Australia.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around typically here.
Well, what's the door like in your place? Which way does it open?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, it depends on the door.
The outside door.
Yeah, the outside door is
open.
right to left. What would that be? That would be counterclockwise. Yeah, I think they're all no. The one on my room is the other way.
You open the door with your left hand.
Right hand. Right hand, and it goes to the left. At least at the entry. So it appears it's back and forth, depends on where you are in the house.
So if my arrow was the open door, that's the way it is in my house, on the outside door.
Right. Yeah. I think here it's going to be the other direction.
Interesting.
Anyway, that'll be obvious to him, so he can take whichever side he wants.
So that's his plan.
Okay, so which side is he going to?
Well, whichever side is opposite the way the door opens. So he can push the
Right.
door open.
Right.
So if
I
the
think he
door,
wants to be over there.
so then the door will open towards on the opposite
That
side.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Got
he'll
it.
just push it open.
Junk.
Hey, do you have the stats for that shotgun?
Oh, right. You can do under items. You get a compact shotgun, compact pump.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Does the door open or is it locked?
Oh no, it's not locked. He just shut it a second ago. Well, about
I
5
think
seconds
this is the second round, so I am securing the shotgun.
Let's see. You knelt last round and picked
Yep.
it up, I presume. So right now you
Oh.
can either, well, I guess you could stand and ready, and it'll be ready for use.
Okay. Good news. I will do that. And am I
How are
able
you
to?
using it?
Left hand.
So left hand with a shotgun.
I am ambidextrous.
Well, that's true. So for the record, that is like a Serbu super shorty. It's a cutoff pistol shotgun.
Okay, so I can see him. The door open the
Yes.
opposite way. Okay, I do have a problem, Gigermann. I cannot aim at him because he's hidden.
Is he? I
Oh,
thought
no, bullshit. I'm not aiming him. Never mind. I'm aiming at him. Then we have like a 1.73 yard distance. I think I'm going to consider the best
Yeah,
way for.
I think we still have that problem with the and
Yeah. I'll say it's 2 yards for the
okay, let's see if I can actually turn that off. What that was on the grid.
Yeah, so there's
So if
a
I turn
raw.
off show raw distance, and if I click on anything else, it comes back. So it won't actually turn off.
What?
That's weird.
Pulled that shotgun in there, but it's not. I've got it equipped.
AFK a second.
Here.
So I've got that shotgun equipped, but it is not showing up. I don't see a ranged. Wait, let me unlock it and try that. There it is. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Speaking of doors and opening, I think that interior door is probably going to open toward Robert.
Okay, so I can take a step in any case.
Which won't that surprise him?
Yeah. I'll go here, and I'm 2 yards. I'm not even going to use the Excel sheet because like a straight. It's going to be a straight test. I'm going to go for the torso 2 shots.
Okay. Go ahead and take a -2 cover. He's like half
-2.
on the wall there.
Okay. So first shot. Shot.
All right, back.
Second. Okay.
Oh, still 2 gun in it.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
2 shots. Let's see. Thinking. Okay, those were 1 shot each.
Yeah.
So he is going to want to dodge. He can't technically retreat. And I am going to say he probably should have a -2 for being surprised here, at least. So we'll give him that. Number 6. Defend yourself. Holy crap, he almost did. Fortunately for you, he didn't. All right. I guess I have to dodge. I have to dodge both of them. That's right, which you may have had a penalty on there anyway due to dual weapon attack. All right, dodge again. Not so close that time. All right, no, he has failed to get out of the way.
Let's see.
All right, and there we go. Okay, nice damage calc thingy. First hit was... Okay, that DR does not actually count, which I can just remove those. So the first one will apply, and that's going to take him below a third already on the start. He's going to make his health check against that and fail by 5. So he goes unconscious after the first shot.
Oh, wow.
And the second one will put him dead. Jeez, man.
Sorry. Well, you don't, go and shove your face in front of a gun.
Wow, wow. Okay. Well, to be fair, he didn't know you were there.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess you're done.
Yep, I'm done.
All right. Now, not only do we have we've got multiple gunshots going on, so that's definitely yeah. He's continuing on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. These guys. So he had poked his head around the corner, and he's gonna come around the corner and see. Holy shit! This guy just watched you blast the other guy, and he's gonna... No, he already threw himself on the floor. He's in the process of assuming the position. This guy is also following up to that one. And we'll also note the guy getting blasted and flying back from the door. This guy's doing his thing, and off we go.
All right, so Cass would have seen this happen.
So if he's sort of sticking his head in and out, kind of checking, he'll definitely see a body flying back from the or falling back, I should say, from the interior door there.
Okay.
Let's see. He will not see Robert.
Now, the look of these guys, do they look like bad guys?
They look basically the same as you were encountering before so far. So you would probably judge that these guys are contractors.
All right, so
you,
not necessarily
followed...
bad guys.
Well, so they are working for a criminal operation. They are most definitely criminals. These guys at the house that you didn't follow here in the SUV are at least aiding and abetting, if not actively involved. So
Right,
criminals, yes, definitely.
He, I think his cannot harm innocence would still be in effect. He's not out to kill these people. So he'll avoid using sort of any lethal force unless he has to defend himself.
So the definition of innocence in that sense is uninvolved. These guys are involved. So they don't count.
Right, but if someone just shows up,
right,
he's not going to immediately just shoot them. He's going to give them all opportunities to surrender and all that sort of stuff.
Well, if he wants to be nice, he can be nice. All right, so he's hopping in.
So he'll go in there, assuming that it's all clear.
Give me a perception check as you cross the threshold there. He sees everything. So I will unhide that guy and that guy. So as you cross through the door threshold, you can see that there are a couple coming down the hall or through the kitchen. You'll also note that the guy in front there in the orange tracksuit is in fact one of the guys that was in the SUV.
Okay, and he is armed, I take it.
They are.
All right, so in that case, I will change his move to move and attack. So be minus bulk and -2 because he didn't see them at the start of the turn, right?
With what?
Minus bulk for move and attack with a ranged weapon. And because he didn't
what
see the
range weapon?
my force push.
Okay, that's where I thought you were going. I just wasn't sure. I didn't think you picked up a gun. Okay, is there a bulk for that?
Well, it's -2 or bulk, whichever's worse.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, -2 then.
And then -2 because he didn't see them at the start of the turn.
That is true. This would count as pop-up.
And since he doesn't necessarily want to kill them straight up, he wants to ask questions. He's going to target the weapon. What sort of penalty would there be for that?
I wonder if you can. It makes me wonder what the size of the attack actually is. So that's a long arm, so it's going to be -4.
Yeah,
And I
so
presume that would be an
-8.
attack to knock away.
Yes. Knock away, destroy the weapon. He's hitting the weapon. So -8 all up.
Okay.
Next question. It's I have redistributed the points that were incorrectly calculated for the unaging. Are you okay with those going into existing skills and stuff?
Let's not do that right now.
All right, so consider it not spent points until after the session. Okay.
Yeah.
So then this is going to be incorrect. It's a hit.
All right. Successful hit. And you did not take no signature on that?
No, there's no there's signature.
There is a signature, so okay, so there is some kind of thing that he can react to, so he will attempt to dodge that. It's a ranged attack, so he can't do retreat. He is number 2. So dodge. Shit dodge. He's going to take it. Now,
So
I don't...
Did you say he's going to take it, as in he's going to take his shit dodge, or he's going to take the damage?
He's going to take the damage. All right, so...
and that's
Jesus.
double knockback.
So... that's hitting the weapon.
Yes.
Not him. So the double knockback isn't going to affect him, I guess.
It's all going to be the weapon, yep.
Double knockback doesn't normally apply to something like a disarm, but I think in this case it makes sense. So I'm going to let that stand. DR doesn't apply. Not that it really matters. What does matter is his grip strength. So he has
Keep in mind, don't apply that, because I have him targeted, don't apply that damage to him.
Right. So this is calculated. What did you roll? No, it didn't double it. But I guess it wouldn't.
It will double it. When applied. So if you, it should actually say double knockback. How many yards?
It says knockback 3 yards, so it's actually calculating it and then showing you. That makes sense. I like that. Okay, so I can cancel that, but that is the damage. Okay, right. This is a contest. Okay, knocking a weapon away, strike to disarm, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. If you hit and your foe fails to defend, he did. Roll quick contest of skills. Okay. Don't think that applies in this case.
Yes, you could probably work it out as a dex or strength roll minus the knockback penalty to hold it.
Well, it's going to be a retain weapon, which is going to be basically gun skill, dex based, and I think that would come off of here.
Though it might be moot because the weapon took 16 points of damage itself.
Uh-huh. Well, they're pretty tough. I don't think that's going to affect it so much. It's got a pretty good DR. But so his retained weapon is a fail anyway. So whatever the knockback is, it flew at least 3 or 4 yards back and smacked into the wall behind both of them. So he definitely lost grip on it.
Right. Okay. So that looks probably fine. He's going to move over to the Wash is going to move over to this door and look out through. Presumably, there's like a window.
Yeah, I think there's at least a small one.
He wants to make sure there isn't like some dude sprinting full or coming around or something like that.
Right. Okay, I'm thinking there's probably a little small curtain on the window, and you can scoop that aside, and you don't see anybody running away.
Actually, zooming in, I see that also looks like a door based
It
off
is.
of the logo. We would have seen that outside. So
yeah, I guess you would have probably.
so he's going to open this door.
Okay.
That's probably all he's going to be able to do this round.
Did he move?
He took a step, and he's going to have to
okay.
stick the shotgun under his arm while he opens the door.
Right. Okay. Stuff.
Since sadly I don't have 3 arms.
All right, Robert. Well, you can see
Okay.
Cass has joined and done
Okay.
his thing.
I think I will just move. From here, can I don't have a view on the other 2 guys, right? If I put my
Right.
up.
Yeah, you got a wall there.
Yeah. So I guess I don't to be in front of him. I'll do this. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do.
Okay. Are you standing in the middle of the hallway, or are you trying to snug up against the wall?
Yeah, I'm trying to get as close to them as possible.
Okay. If you want, you can take one of those partial hexes.
Okay, great. Let's see.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's gone. That guy just lost his weapon, and now he has no weapon and is looking at some kind of superhero who just shot the weapon out of his hand by pointing at it. I dislike this immensely. I will move away. This guy is on the floor looking around and starting to realize that everybody's going somewhere else and he may have an opportunity.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and it was like I was gonna probably like glance back and go, oh, right.
This guy, while he did just see the same thing the other guy did, he still has a shotgun in his hand, so he's going to use it on Cassiel. 7 yards. And now I get to use my own thingy. In this case, there's not a whole lot else to it. That was the actual full-size pump shotgun. Yeah. And that is also beyond the short range. So we'll do the rate of fire thing on that. That's going to be 9. Where was it? Rapid fire. Yes, this is much easier to find. All right. Speed range, rate of fire. I think that's basically it. Center mass. And shot. Good hit. All right. What does Cass do about that?
He is going to use some extra effort
Jump into the bathroom.
and dodge
Badly.
and get lucky,
Don't have time for that.
taking the
Take
success
that
by
one.
3.
Yeah. Lame. Okay. Well, he's going to take his shot and take a step over there. Oh, and rack in another round. Chick-chack. And probably have a very worried and frustrated look on his face. Meanwhile, the door jamb next to you explodes in a shower of splinters. Okay. And that guy keeps doing his thing.
So the guy that is on the ground in front of him, is he obviously dead?
He is not moving. He took a couple of rounds to the chest, and I would say just looking at him, I don't know that you can tell dead or not, but he's definitely not getting up.
Okay, well then Cass is going to take all-out defense. He will sort of crouch down, hold his hand on the guy's head, and give him some last rites.
All right.
May heaven accept your soul. And
Probably not.
and whatever he'll say the right words, and that's his turn.
All right.
Okay, so glancing back as the door's opening, Wash is going to realize that everybody's outside except this dude. So he's going to sigh and head back in the direction towards BG3,
Right.
which means the door's open.
All right. Yeah, Robert's aware that the two guys that were in the hall there have moved off to his right.
Yeah, I'll just take a step as I did, and I'll wait. I'll wait for them to appear so I can, attack. That's what
Now
I'll
that
do.
is a bathroom door right there.
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
police instincts.
Yeah, okay, goddammit. I'll enter the goddamn bathroom.
You don't have to enter. You just have to open the door.
No, you convinced me. Okay,
Clear.
I opened it. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay,
Except for the guy who's sitting on the pot, looking really
Oh,
scared.
Jurassic Park. Imagine. Yeah, so
Actually,
that being
that's not
clear,
that's not the bathroom. That's just a washroom.
well, clear anyway. And I'll wait for them to appear so I'll attack them.
That's for the dogs.
Actually, I guess that's the shower. So there's the shower off to the right of that. Okay, doing the thing. All right, this guy is doing this.
Actually, looks like a bit of a laundry shower.
Maybe laundry too. Okay, and
That
he's
is a
gonna do that.
really small kitchen. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's a weird map. All right, this guy is unarmed and uninterested. He is going over there, and you guys actually no. So he'll just keep going because that door was already open. This guy is suddenly disappointed that the opportunity has closed on him. This guy just took a shot and is thinking about doing a pop-up.
Damn it!
He's actually going to advance there.
I don't have anything to tie this guy up.
Well, no, you really don't. And that guy's going to keep doing his thing. Yeah, you guys weren't prepared for that. For actually securing people.
Does Cass know this guy's on his way? No, he surrendered. He can see that
Cass
he's laying down.
can see him. So the door opened away from Cass. Swung out to his left, so he can see that guy plainly. He can see that Wash is coming up to him and that he's on the ground with his hands behind his head, clearly surrendered-ish. He's not officially surrendered because if anybody turns their backs long enough, he's going to bolt.
Well, Cass will again take all-out defense. He will be looking at Wash, making sure that Wash doesn't kill someone that surrendered and stuff.
Right.
What do you think of me?
He'll be given Wash that look.
Yeah, that was only like 30 minutes ago that heads were cut off, so fair enough.
I only did one, and I felt really bad about it afterwards.
You didn't. Come on. It
Yes, I
was
did.
awesome.
right.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out how to secure this dude.
Well,
After all the trouble I took to get into the shotgun, that means I'm going to be tossed onto that bed, and probably kneeling on this or to this guy, to like, damn it, I don't have anything to tie him up with.
Check the drawers in the bedside tables. There might be some cuffs.
yeah,
Fluffy cuffs.
well, yeah, no, any of those things is probably going to take a little while, so you may be out of action for a bit.
Yeah,
You can always use him as a human shield.
I
When he
am
doesn't
not
get
like
away.
you.
Well, I will do the same. I'll do step and wait.
Okay, now you can't step and wait.
Oh, really?
You should just charge in there and just, be shooting.
Yeah, that's another one of those weird ones. So they, I know it was available in 3rd edition, but they got rid of it in 4th.
I'll just wait then. I'll just wait.
You
I'm
have
not
targeted
going.
yourself, I think.
Oh, yeah. I've been feeling a little bit down recently.
I know,
Robert
right?
has been feeling down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing are you doing opportunity fire? Is that effectively what you're doing here?
Yep. Triggers when they appear in my line of vision.
Okay. So if you're doing a line, just specify the hex where the line goes.
Okay.
Through.
Quick question. I'm jumping back in. You said they were like packing up, right?
Yes.
Can I
Did
make
say that?
a universe? Well, you said they were like, grabbing
Yeah.
stuff.
Because the
Can I
guy had a
make
box coming out.
Yeah, can I make a universe reaction roll to see if maybe there's like a big old thing of duct tape on the table there, or the desk?
It's a scrounging roll.
Well, it's
Yeah, he
like,
doesn't have time for scrounging.
Well, it'd still be a scrounging roll with a penalty.
Tell you what, you have luck, don't you? Oh, it's combat related.
Do you? Yes.
You could kind of lean toward combat. It's still going to take you a while to tape them up, even if you got tape.
Do you have scrounging?
Yes,
Because you could scrounge something that you
I
could
do
use to
not
tie him
have
up.
scrounging.
I mean,
I'm not a
jokes aside, you can just take him to the other room and get him to lie down again. Not
Yeah.
necessarily using him as a human shield.
You can always stick them in the bathroom as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a number of things you could potentially do there that might be useful. Right. I got distracted. I was looking for something.
I just paint. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I saw that, and I wanted to do something a little more useful. Let's go with that. All right, so you should be able to move that token. I think. Is that where it was?
Yep.
Okay, so that's your target.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, me. Let's see. So, I think we're gonna do that. So we have that. All right, and that is. Oh yeah, that partial hex thing is annoying. I think that's technically 3.
Ruh-roh, you guys are about to get shot in the back.
All right, and he's definitely going to go 3 shots on that, and that is oh, you're crouched still, aren't you?
Yes.
Is he still crouched?
Yes, he would be crouched because he'd be
put that on him.
He'd be giving this guy last rites.
Yeah. Okay. So crouched at least. You got that going for you. And that is target posture. We are not standing. We are crouching. And there we go. All right. And you can't see this coming. So it's entirely up to me to make this actually happen. All right. And that is pistol. Come on. Open up. There you go. 3 shots. Wow. That's a good roll. All right. And you just use your luck and you can't make me use it. Make me re-roll.
You just died.
All right. I get to hit somebody for all the good it'll do, I'm sure. Okay,
It should do a lot of good. Cass doesn't wear armor.
I need table. That's what I'm looking for. See if I can hit you in the vittles. The chest. I need to put that down there where I can get to it later. All right. 1, 2, 3. Nope. All right. Well, you get the easy way out. All right. I haven't rolled damage yet. This will be fun. And it moved on me. Yeah, that's some shitty rolls. Wow. That was some real crap. Okay. So you got DR1. I assume that's the jacket.
Yep.
So that'll still apply. Yeah, nothing to it. Okay, I like this. There's 1.
Oh, this is the first time you used
2.
that.
It's the first time I've used it on a PC.
It's really, really freaking cool. It's my favorite thing that Brian's done with the rule set.
So none of those were a major wound, although collectively they're probably a bit concerning.
Like, ow!
Yeah, it looks like you're half dodge at this point.
Yep.
I anticipate he's about to force bitch slap this guy out of the out of that area.
Yeah, I could kind of see that happening. Well, famous last stand, I guess. All right, well, at least I've done some damage, so I feel like I've accomplished something. All right, so he's going to keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that he is, frustrated, kind of wiggling around, but not getting up. Although I guess he probably saw right through that door that the blonde guy just got whacked in the back.
Yeah. I saw that too.
This guy is going to pop out. So while he is not fully stepping around the corner necessarily, he's just leaning his body out, but that's probably going to count for Robert's purposes. So Robert gets the first crack.
Yay. Let me just...
Now I believe it is well, you got the stuff there, so you can figure that out. But that is line, I think, is the 3 hex equivalent on the pop-up.
Sorry?
It's in the notes there on the calculator. So if you're shooting along a line, it counts as like a 3 hexes watched or 2 hexes watched. I don't remember. In the meantime, in the event that I survive, I'm going to go ahead and figure this out. So that's going to be, so it's over 5, which makes it 6. And that's going to be still crouching. Rapid fire is going to be 9. And that's probably it.
Just one thing that I remembered. I forgot to add the rate of fire for the pistol. So it's a 3 rate of fire already fixed. So
well, the first time you said you had fired a single shot, so.
Yeah. Let's see.
So if you're going for all 3 this time?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So let's see.
I think we should. Well, you've already got the pop-up here. Just debating whether to give that half cover or not. Let's go ahead and do the cover. So just the -2 cover. Standard cover. Which would count toward you if he were shooting at you. He doesn't know you're there.
Yep. Also.
He's about to, though.
Just find.
Does that mean he doesn't get a dodge if he doesn't know he's there?
Well,
That's right. I'm taking your words and twisting them. Since apparently if I bite someone, it's aggravated damage.
I suppose I can give him the -2 like I did the other guy. All right, you all set? Need help?
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's not working right.
Nope,
Yeah, I think you buggered it.
probably. Okay, let's just do this straight. Should be
Well, yeah.
so
Okay,
-2
what's the
for this
range?
one.
Let's see, 4 yards.
It's 4 yards. -2. Half cover, so another -2, right?
-2 for range, -2 for pop-up, probably. I think that's about right. And -2 for cover, so 6 total.
Okay, let's do it.
Do it that way.
Okay. I don't know. I put it single in the modes, like it's normal fire. Failure.
It was
Yeah.
incidental suppressive fire.
Yep. Oh, I did get him with one shot.
Did hit him with 1. And to be fair, you only have to be shot once with 1 bullet to
Yep.
dissuade you from doing anything else. All right. I am going to give him his dodge. I am going to give him -2. And who is that? That's 4. He's probably going to fail. Yep, he failed. All right. Damage it is. So you may just save Cass. All right. No DR for him. Nope. And yeah, that's that. PI plus.
Yep, I have hollow point.
Right. Ah, damn. That sucks.
You should probably also roll on the torso to see if it's a vital strike.
Good point.
Too late. Can't take it back. Well, he's going to make a health check anyway, which he will fail quite miserably, but not enough to go directly unconscious. Which means you are definitely going to interrupt his... Oh!
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
It would have been funny, though.
Yeah, how fun.
Ow! Feminize the guy.
We don't have a torso one. We have like a chest.
The chest is the one that you were looking for.
Okay.
Oh, you suck.
Ooh, Viking chest. Whoa.
All right,
man.
let's try this again. Okay, so in this case, I need to take the damage.
Don't see any of these guys on the combat tracker?
Oh, are they still not? That's interesting. That's not what I expected. Okay, it didn't apply the damage. Damage? Can we damage him?
Drag it onto the guy.
I grabbed the wrong thing. That was the damage up there. Okay. And I still don't see it. What did I miss?
Are you dragging the actual damage onto the dude? You can drag and drop from the chat to the combat tracker or the token.
Oh, damn it. No, I grabbed the right one. Wait, do you have to grab the icon? Is that the thing? No? Yeah, it's not working.
Is the guy on the combat tracker?
He is, however, he is still showing as hidden, so I wonder if that's the thing. That would be weird. Okay, let's try this again. Or, okay, do you have to drag it onto the tracker? Is that the thing?
You could drag it onto their token.
No, that didn't work.
Or the tracker.
Yeah, it's not working.
Let me try. Did that work?
No.
Have Robert try and drag and drop the damage.
Well, we don't really need to. So we know we got 9 points here. Since that's vitals, that's times 321. Do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, it's not working. Nothing.
Some damage.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Okay, anyway, so that's it. So now we've got the actual damage. His failed health roll would have been 5 worse, which means he is most definitely unconscious at this point. So, good job uncovering a bug. All right. Brain unconscious. There we go. But not deceased. All right. Which means Cass doesn't get shot again. So, yay for Cass. We can skip that guy and move on to the next guy who is still back there. All right. Cass, you
Why
just got shot in the
are
back.
all of these guys hidden?
So, I unhid them. I unhid the token. I didn't actually unhide it on the tracker.
Why not?
Because I thought they were related, and apparently they are not. So I'm fixing it now. All right, that should be all of them. All right, Cass.
So Cass will stand, step
And
there.
deliver?
He will start saying, I forgive your trespass, but I cannot let you do that again. Surrender, or I will be forced to deliver the Lord's wrath.
Damn. There's a lot to say in 1 second. So you're effectively doing a move or stand and move.
Well, I kind of want to do a wait, so I guess.
Well, you got to pick one.
I'll be doing the
All right,
wait, and the action is.
Since he was crouched, going to standing is a free action, actually. So, okay, wait, and your trigger's what?
If this guy looks like he's going to continue attacking.
Okay. All right.
But Cass will still say what he says.
Gotcha.
And he'll do it calmly, with no sort of animosity or anything like that.
Well, are you actually intimidating here?
No, he's not. He's just being nice about it. But he's shaking off the injury as if it doesn't bother him.
Well, okay, so let me rephrase
so that might be
Is he
intimidating
attempting to
itself.
Influence him?
Yes.
Would you do a reaction, or would you prefer to use a skill?
I guess.
Does he have high pain threshold?
No, it doesn't. But I'm not sure which skill that would actually equate to, because he's not trying to intimidate. He's not trying to negotiate. He's just saying his thing.
Well,
giving this guy a chance. So maybe intimidation without actually being threatening.
That's kind of where I was going with that. So you're basically saying, if you don't stop, I will do this thing to you. Even if you're being nice about it, it's still quote unquote intimidation.
But he's delivering it in such a way that
right.
Those shots didn't affect him at all.
Unfortunately, those shots did affect him because he doesn't have a high pain threshold. Technically, he's got a shock penalty if he were actually doing something dex related.
But Cass is being cool about it, so intimidation.
Yeah. So it may work. All right, so yeah, intimidation. I'll give you a +2 for shrugging it off to the extent that you can, which you rolled rather well. So this is number 1. By the way, number 1 is the drone guy from before.
Okay.
Where did he come from?
Wow. Where did he come from? Like, he was in the SUV. So there were 2 guys.
But there was no one in the SUV.
One was the red. Do what?
There was no one in the SUV.
The other SUV.
Yeah. The SUV that you pursued here was driven by
that one.
The guy in the red tracksuit and the guy in the orange tracksuit.
Okay.
All
right.
That one.
That's the one.
And the guy in the red happens
Robert
to also
not
be the
check
guy
that?
that was running the drone.
But did Robert not check that vehicle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we
weren't
did.
in it.
Yeah.
They had already come inside.
Okay. So I guess the guy at the door came from that door.
Yes. Okay. Now I see where you're going. Yes, he came out the other door and came around. Yeah. Gotcha. Now that makes sense. All right. So you essentially succeeded by 12 in this case with the contest. So, damn, you should have used the wings. You would have gotten an extra bit there. He is going to look at you, and you can see that the hate has gone out of him.
And there might be a little bit of wetness around his pants.
Quite possibly. Okay, but that was your turn. He'll get his turn.
I guess I'm still doing the thing, whatever the thing is, to secure
Okay.
the dummy.
I will remind you that the KO rule is in effect here. If all you want
What
to do
is
is just
the-
whack him in the back of the head.
I absolutely do.
Okay.
What is the KO rule? I don't remember.
We do have that in the rules.
Okay, I'm looking that up. Carry on.
Carrying on. Rob.
Well, I can see that Cass is on it with the red tracksuit guy, right?
Yes. So you saw Cass stand up there and tell that guy to knock it off, and you can plainly see the look on that guy's face as you think he may actually be knocking it off.
Okay, I'll let him do his thing and I'll advance then.
All right.
Just
And
here.
step on that guy's nuts.
Yep. While I'm at it.
Okay, I was checking to see if there's anybody. No, you don't see anybody else there. Okay. All right, yeah. This guy is sufficiently cowed, and he will disarm himself and become French. All right. And I think he'll actually take a knee as well.
I usually don't see the KO rules in the book.
KO is in Supers. Or one of the action books. You did find it? Question?
No, I don't see it in the book. I'm pulling up the supers to see.
Oh, no, I meant when I said in the rules, I mean in the rules book in game.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at.
Officially, did I not put it on there?
No,
I do not
Well,
see.
damn it. I intended to.
Well,
Why can't you see it?
can't
Just because
I
I
don't know
intended
why.
to. Okay, so noted. I could swear I did that. I know so just FYI, I have the page reference on the wiki.
Okay, I'll look there
But
then.
that doesn't help you at this point, but I guess
No, it's fine.
Penn found it there. Or no, that's the other thing.
Yeah, no, I
Different
just
thing.
realized I'm looking at different things. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, carry on. All right. So that guy's going to give up. That guy is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. He's going to go right out. He just saw some shit that he didn't want to see. This guy is trying to figure out how he's going to get out of this, but he's not. And that guy is continuing next. So who do we have left at this point? I think that's actually everybody. Well, sort of. Okay, so FYI, you've got the guy at the door who has clearly decided to change his life. I think Cass is probably going to see orange shirt there, headed out toward the vehicles.
Okay, so hitting back, I found the KO rule in action 3. So I need to make a regular roll and attack to the head with all the usual modifiers. do damage, subtract DR, and instead of suffering injury, you need to make a health roll at a penalty equal to the penetrating damage,
Right.
or be knocked out. So I'm fairly certain that's going to be easy.
Yeah, especially if you hit him in the head.
Yep. So back at the skull, it's 5.
Right.
Okay, I could have just done it that way.
All right,
Hilt
what's
punch.
Okay, carry on. Damn.
Because it's from
Wow.
behind.
Wow.
Damage is 7, so that'd be 5. So he'd need to make a health at -5.
-5.
Wait, let me look at something. That's a critical head blow. Okay, so
I
it
guess it is.
doesn't really matter, and so he'll be temporarily deaf.
Yep, that's it.
Good.
Okay, is Wash done?
Yes, sorry.
Alright, so Cass will casually walk up to this dude. He will see the guy in the distance fleeing. He'll be utilizing or taking advantage of his penetrating voice and yell out "stop" while he will force blast something outside in front of this guy as a warning shot.
Okay.
Maybe the car or something. I don't know what.
I don't think it's that
Intimidation once
strong.
again.
I don't know what this stuff is, but
Oh, that's you could actually see it in the other picture. It's just like a little pillar thing next to the sidewalk. Bricks. So probably perfect. Okay. So you're effectively intimidating. I'm not going to make you roll at this point. The fight is out of these guys at this point. So Wash knocked out that guy. I think the one thing we need to do here is figure out where Robert's going.
I don't know that it's done, so I'll do a sweep on the house. That's what I'm planning to do.
Okay. Which direction are you going? Let's say. What room are you going to clear first?
I'll probably move. Hold on, let me get the pink thing. I'll probably move towards here, so I can have a
Okay.
look at the living room.
Right.
That being empty.
So you
I'll
got the
proceed.
doors here and here.
And I'm
Yeah,
going to be
I'll-
running up there behind you, so
Okay.
he could theoretically point me to one of the doors while he goes and checks the other one.
I'll go high, you go low then.
Okay. Place yourself at the door you wish to clear.
Where is he going to?
Hold on.
You having trouble grabbing the token?
Yeah.
Where is the token? Oh, there's the token.
Yeah, that's awkward. Okay. You're going that way?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
All right. So Wash is going the other direction. That's fine.
Yep.
So tell me how Robert enters that door.
Carefully.
So a little bit.
Like police procedure,
Well, if you're clearing a house, you don't go in carefully. Well, I guess that depends.
Yeah, I'm not barging in. I'll open the door and I'll...
I am. I'm going to throw
that's
myself
beside the point.
bodily at the door, and hopefully this place is in crappy shape, so the door will just...
Robert is using proper police procedure for clearing the door, clearing the room.
Trying to.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. He does it the right way, whatever the right way is. So he is going to open that door. As he opens that door, he will see that there is a person there. He will also see a person there next to him. They seem to be exchanging an item. Also, FYI, that other guy is the shot caller.
Yeah, I imagine. Can I see what are they exchanging, or at least is it small? Is it what can I
Well,
figure out?
so I guess that's really the question here is his first reaction. Is it to examine what they're exchanging or is it to do something else?
That's a good question. They're going to
From what
notice
we've
me anyway,
seen,
right?
after we ask Robert what happened, he's gonna respond with, "So anyway, I started blasting."
Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about doing. I think I'll start blasting. Yeah,
Okay.
that would make more sense.
Tell me how you're going to do that. They
Well,
once you open the door, you come in there 2 guns up, and you see they both turn and look at you like it's a bit in The Shining or something.
yep, kind of like that. So
In fact,
I'll
the
go for
lights
this.
are even flickering in here a little bit.
The fact they were ignoring all of the gunfire is pretty weird.
Well, it's only
Maybe they
been
think you're leaving.
10 seconds ish. All
Well,
right,
so
so
I'll shoot the shit out of the shot caller.
you shooting him or you shooting the guy with the gun?
Yes,
Oh, but doesn't he
Yeah.
have a gun also?
The
he's
shot
like,
caller does not have a gun currently.
I
Okay,
got
because
2 guns, so I can shoot both of you.
Well, I'll shoot the guy with the gun then, obviously.
Okay.
-2. Okay.
Now he will have
airborne.
stepped inside the room ish there, so you could probably call it that. That
So
doesn't help
But
you.
actually, it's Wash's turn now.
Slams into the door and
Oh,
probably
okay.
breaks something.
Technically, we're sort of out of combat range. Well, I guess. You
Yeah,
could
well, it's
respond,
like
so.
I figure he's
At the same time.
Yeah, he's a little fast. I think he's a little faster than Robert. So he's like sprinting towards that door, and he just is jump.
Okay. Does Wash actually have forced entry? I don't think he did.
He does not. I will
Actually-
add that onto my list.
Is that under detective?
Let's look.
Maybe. Either way, that door is going to come right open, and he can. At least his initial glance will be that there's nobody in there.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that in detective, but yeah, I figure he hits in there. This place is kind of run down, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna the door's just gonna collapse in. He's gonna hit the ground and
You cut out.
Yeah.
right. So he's gonna hit the door. It's gonna come out. He's gonna hit the ground, do a nice little parachute landing fall, and come right back up to his feet.
Oh,
Looking
okay.
super cool because he's got a sword in one hand and a shotgun in the other. Naturally, there's nobody in this room to have seen his dynamic entry.
Nope. All right, so
Okay, so
Robert starts blasting.
yep. Let's go. Back.
Wow.
Do you have
Second
luck?
one. I do. But yeah, I'll reroll. I'll reroll the first one, can I?
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Much better.
Yeah. Was that a single shot each?
Doesn't look that way. You got one more roll or one more hit to make.
Right, that's what I was waiting on. Not
Sorry?
that you can do much better.
Yeah, I have another one. Sorry, forgot. Good enough. I'll go for the.
Okay,
Margin
so you
crit.
got. So that was 3 each.
No, it was 1, and then 3. Because
No,
if
I
I
mean
have to be honest.
rate of fire.
Yeah, it's 3. Yeah, it's the full thing.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so the first one then critically hit, so one can't be dodged, and
Critical
the
hit roll.
others can. Right, this is number 5.
He's got to roll on the critical hit table too.
That's true. Okay, he's not going to make any of those. That should have been a -2, as I have based that. You also hit him with multiple on the other, and I'll go ahead and roll that one. Wow.
No,
Well, he managed to dodge one.
He only hit one with
Yeah,
the second shot. So
I was gonna say
all
that.
three
Well, he
of the
dodged that
crit,
one.
yeah, all three of the crits hit, and you need to roll on the critical hit table there, Pin.
Normal damage.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and do your chest rolls, I suppose. You got 3 of them.
Come on, roll vitals all 3 times, just because that'd be funny.
One vital
Well,
is okay.
you only got to do 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is not going to get up from that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, he's definitely not going to get up from that.
13. Ooh, yeah, that was the 13 is the vitals one. Ow.
Yep.
Yeah, he is very, very dead.
Great. Can I do a free action or no?
No, actually. It's my turn. So, let me pull that up. So, the shot caller looks at Robert, completely unfazed, and says to you, "Y'all motherfuckers just fucked around." And as the lights are flickering in here, it's like you blinked and he's not there anymore.
Fuck.
But you hear the voice, the disembodied voice say, "But you're gonna find out real soon."
I should have shot him. God damn it.
And that is everybody. So the fight is officially over.
Yeah.
Not bad. Got through 10 rounds relatively smoothly. All right, so what comes after that? Let me catch up on my notes. Let's see, who do we have? We've got the guy at the front door who is surrendered. We've got the orange guy who took no for an answer and decided not to flee in one of the vehicles.
And the unconscious guy.
We've got the unconscious guy who is otherwise unharmed.
And we have a seriously wounded one.
You got 1 dead, 1 near dead, 2 dead, and 1 near dead. Yeah. So you do have some live ones.
Otherwise unharmed. Gave him
Otherwise
brain
unharmed.
damage.
Yeah, well, but this is cinematic KO, so he just shrugs it off like it didn't like it was not a thing. Okay, so that was that. At this point, we need to declare what you guys are going to do. So, shots were fired, quite a few shots actually. You know that once again, you are going to have a limited amount of time for police response. And
yeah, this is Night City. They're not going to bother.
once again, I will have somebody roll a 1d -3 in the box. Volunteer.
Yes, we'll do it.
You got the duty.
You said duty.
All right. You have that long. So,
Are
go
we in a
around
quick
the,
response suburb, or are we like they'll be here in an hour response suburb?
So you guys are
done already.
on the outside of town, so you can expect that the response time is probably going to be lower out here than it would normally be. But at the same time, they do have multiple police stations, so it's not. You're not going to have like an hour. Also, that was a lot of shots.
I call shenanigans. This is Chicago. I mean, Chirac.
Uh-huh.
We have an
you're
hour.
also not in the inner city here.
Would Robert know this since he's a policeman?
Robert would be the source for knowing this. So Robert's
So-
guess as to how long it's going to take him to get out here. He knows we're in the outskirts, so you got a little padding, but you're not going to have like 30 minutes to an hour
Okay.
unless you get really, really lucky.
All right.
So, going around the table here just to establish the particulars. Cassiel, what is your intentions, or what is Cassiel's intentions?
First, secure the Frenchies. And then Cassiel will go to
Do some interrogating.
this guy and say some words for his soul.
All right. So that's Cass. Cass is doing Cass things. Robert, what is Robert's intentions?
First of all, I'll go to the guy I shot and I'll take the item that he received from the shot caller.
Yes. That is a fob. That is actually a thumb drive.
Okay, good.
Thumb drive.
Not that kind of thumb drive.
Oh man, this guy's hilarious.
And if I have a little bit more time, I'll try to do a search at least in the room.
Okay. So start doing the SSE. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Wash. What are Wash's
First aid.
intentions? First aid.
I want to make sure the guy who was shot here isn't going to bleed out.
Oh, Cass was shot too, by the way.
Yeah, but he's just walking it off like, nothing happened.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, I could do that.
True. But he didn't just immediately heal.
Right. So I'm probably not going to notice that part yet. At some point, it'd be like, "Oh, you're not healing, dude. Are you okay?"
He won't bleed. Bleeding will stop
Oh,
naturally.
Gotcha. Fair enough. He's not exerting himself at the moment. But that is 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Well, it'll take 3 minutes for the bleeding. Well, he won't bleed in the next 3 minutes.
Right.
And it'll stop.
So Wash is doing first aid. Gotcha. Yep. Okay, so at this point, Wash can do his first aid. I'm not going to make you roll for that. This should be not important.
Right.
Robert is searching, so I will go ahead and have you do a search. However, according to what I have, it takes a minute to search an individual. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to do a thorough search of a standard room, which would be any one of these rooms. So it could take a while to do it properly. Never minding a detailed evidence search. So at this point, you can get away with the basic scan and see what you find. So tell me how detailed a search you want to do here and how long you expect to take doing it.
I just want to look for anything that's apparent, something that's obvious. I'll just open the drawers and see if there's anything, basically.
Okay, so quick run through, see if anything stands out.
Yep.
So while the others are doing theirs, I'd say you could probably take, well, if you take like 10 seconds per room, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. So we're talking a minute or two to do a quick sweep. And you're going to find that they had a couple of high-end laptops and a bunch of electronic gear like a Wi-Fi hub and shit like that. So they're definitely set up in here. They hold the thought. They were clearly set up in here doing some kind of control situation, but they have already torn everything down, and we're in the process of packing it up to get it out. Outside of the computers, there's not a whole lot else in here. It doesn't look like it doesn't look lived in. Like they've got temporary. It looks like they were just staying here temporarily. You see a lot of snack food and pizza boxes and shit like that. But although it's not in the best condition, it's clearly not a place where they resided.
Any cash lying around?
Not laying around, no.
Okay. I'm taking the laptops.
Should also take the box that the guy was trying to make away with.
That's some
Yeah.
of the electronic gear and shit like that. Whatever they need
Yeah.
here. Now, the thing I wanted to hold off on was you guys are here on motorcycles.
Yep. That's why we're gonna have
Yep.
backpacks.
You're gonna have to find a way
Several
to
of them
transport
may have
that stuff.
saddlebags.
We
I
can
don't.
take
Yeah.
one of these vehicles.
If you take one of those vehicles, you have to leave a motorcycle behind.
Can't you put a motorcycle in the van? Maybe it fits.
I don't think you're gonna fit a hog in.
I don't have a
Suburban.
hog.
There's a truck here.
I have a rice rocket, remember?
That is a very small truck, and you can't just toss a motorcycle in the back.
I mean, I assumed my motorcycle had like, storage. It's one of the big ones.
I will give you that. Even if you guys didn't have anything like backpacks on the character sheets before, if I recall correctly.
Mhm.
I do.
Do you?
Got
Okay.
but it's the thing for my sword.
But they will have backpacks and that sort of thing here, so you could grab something, toss the important stuff in there, like the laptops, and you're probably good. You just nick one of their backpacks.
Yeah, I'm
So-
waiting for Cassiel to interrogate these guys too.
Now, again, you've got a minute or so of doing first aid and Cassiel last rites and that sort of thing. That is a couple of minutes gone by the time you start looking into potential interrogation. If you recall correctly, that's 5 minutes per question.
Oh yeah.
Isn't
So
it 1 minute?
strip them of weapons and potential actionable intel like cell phones, wallets, stuff like that, and then shove them into the shower thing, and then make sure that door is secured. Let the cops drag them out.
Now, I wanted to remind myself because I was going to use the simplified interrogation things from action, and I need to remind myself where that was.
In action.
No, and I didn't write the damn page number on it. Good idea. Okay. Let me see here. No. Making them talk. Here we go. All right. Edit. Handle each session, not each question, as a quick contest. Penalized by bad against will. La la la. Okay. Okay, they don't actually. All right, they don't have anything specific there as far as like the 5 minutes per question thing. So they just don't have you roll for each question, which is, better. All right. So the first question I'm going to ask, and Robert is going to still be in the process of searching, is who do you sit down and ask? Do you ask them together? Do you separate them? How are you going to handle that? And then the next question is what questions are you going to start asking, and then how long are you going to take asking them? So, first, distribution.
Well,
I think we should have them
one
together.
of the guys is thoroughly unconscious because he was shot. Another one got knocked in the back of the head, so he's still knocked out. So we really got the two that you captured.
So, after Cass has done first rights, he's not sort of wasting time searching or anything like that. He's going to go straight to these guys. He's going to take off his jacket and he's going to like stretch his wings and sort of breathe a sigh of relief, like, that feels better. Because having them, concealed under the jacket's not comfortable.
Oh, I meant to tell you that I think I prefer the supernatural Constantine, the more recent handling of that, where the wings don't actually, you don't have to take your jacket off.
They just appear.
They just appear. But that doesn't mean you can't still do that.
He will stretch them out. I don't know if you've ever seen a bird stretch its wings. He will do that and sort of get comfortable, hoping to use that as some clout to get them to be more cooperative.
It's a +2, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, but are you grouping them together to ask them questions?
Yes, because
first. Okay.
We're time limited, and if one doesn't talk, the other one might talk.
All right, so you're probably only going to get 1 or 2 questions out of this, depending on how long you plan to take.
All right, so I shall
question.
roll interrogation +2. Yep. Unless they're really cooperative. Cass will say.
Was there?
He will say something. Your souls are stained with sin, but you can redeem yourself in the Lord's eyes, and wash the sin from your soul. And he'll give a brief sermon and then interrogate.
Okay. Good God. I don't feel like I'm gonna make this. Okay. Well, here's my pathetic will. Just gonna do 1 roll for the lot of them. Yeah. Well, I made it. Not that it matters. So, according to action, victory by 5+ is a critical success. Oh, that's about complimentary. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, it's just a quick contest. All right. Well, they're going to spill their guts. So what's the question?
First question was, who is that shot caller?
All right. Cassiel has empathy. I am acknowledging that. He will feel that this guy is spilling his guts, especially the red jumpsuit. And he said, "We don't know. We don't use names. We never got his name. He's just the boss."
How do you contact him? How do you find him? What's your involvement? How are you involved with the people smuggling?
So I think the answer to that is going to be, there is a network. They reach out. They're hired for a contract. They never get the same contract twice. So nobody knows anybody. And we get hired. We do the job. We go home.
And he didn't say anything about how they contact him? How do you contact him? Or how were you contacted?
We get a call. So he'll say that they get a call. So they are part of a network that people will reach out, and if they need somebody, they'll call and you'll pick up. However you do it, it can be text or phone, whatever, but they'll reach out. You take the job. It's just like business.
Well, Cass is probably not going to know anything about dark web or anything like that. So how do they know to contact you as opposed from someone else?
He has no idea.
Do you advertise your services?
Somebody keeps track. Somebody keeps records.
Is there a fixer that you go through?
That's the boss.
And I assume he's talking about the shop caller, right?
You would assume that. All right, so minutes are fading. How much longer are you going to take there?
Well, at this point, has Robert showed up?
Has he what?
Has Robert showed up? Has he finished doing what he's doing?
Oh, Yeah, he's in the background as you're taking the questions and tossing the place real quick. I was going to ask if Robert's done going through all the rooms in the house. Is he doing anything else?
Well, Jamal already went through the guy's pockets and took the wallets and everything. So if that's it, I'll just just appear and help with interrogation if possible.
Okay.
Otherwise, no, I'll just I don't know. I'll go. No, better yet. I'll go to the goddamn van. I'll see what they have there.
Gotcha. Okay. Did you say Wash was going through pockets?
Yeah,
seem to remember that.
it was like
Okay, I didn't catch
that was a
before.
recommendation. Yeah.
Okay. So FYI, you did not find wallets. Now they did have some cash here and there, a little bit, but they didn't carry ID.
And any cell phones are going to be like burners.
More than likely, they look like
Well,
cheap. So this was an organized op. All right. Just to be quick, Robert would go out to the SUV, and one of the first things he's going to notice in the back of the SUV, outside of some ammo and snacks and some miscellaneous other gear, there's actually a box of zip ties back there, or flex cuffs, and
grab them.
there is a case back there, and inevitably he will open the case. Well, I shouldn't tell you what you're doing there, but I'm assuming.
No, it's inevitable. He's going to open the case in this case.
It seems inevitable to me, but you open the case. It's a bunch of. I keep blanking on the word. It's not hypodermics. It's injectors. So there's clearly, you did see the shot caller giving injections to some of the captives. So this looks like the same thing.
I'm taking that as well.
So there's a case with quite a number of them in there. So clearly he was going to have to do a lot. And you guys did at least see that there were quite a few captives at the storage yard. You didn't hang around for very long, but you'd say there's at least 20 or 30 of them that eventually came out. All right. So
What was your?
Hi, everybody.
Did they answer what their involvement was with the people smugglers? What their role was?
Oh, what their job was?
Yeah.
Their deliveries, security. Some of them drive the trucks. Some of them keep a watch. He was the drone guy, so he was part of the security.
Okay, so where'd you drive the truck from, and where'd you drive it? Well, obviously you drove it to, but where'd you drive it from?
He doesn't drive the trucks. He didn't get the information about where the trucks are going.
All right.
Well, I think we're out of time.
Yeah. So what I am going to
have them all zip tied and shoved into the shower.
I will get a volunteer.
It's going to be Pendragon's turn.
Is it Pendragon's turn?
Yeah, I volunteered the first time.
All right.
Ronky rolled the second time.
I dropped table in chat. I want you to roll on that.
Okay.
All right. So, about the time you've got the case, you've got the information that you've already identified. At this point, you're pretty sure you can hear distant sirens coming. You know, you're either getting out of here now, or you're gonna have to answer some questions of your own.
Yep. Like I said, zip tie them, toss them into the shower, and bail.
Gotcha.
Like it.
All right. So you guys can head out, and we'll escape justice for the time being. There is at least going to be 1 star of heat right now on you guys, but, well, actually, you've
They're
got a
just
number
gonna
of
think-
survivors at this
yeah.
point that could identify you.
Not me. I'm running around with a hooded thing and a balaclava mask.
Well, he's going to identify you as a guy running around in a hooded thing and a balaclava.
Yeah, so it's another. I'm another vigilante.
Yeah, I
Well,
was gonna say,
technically you
and
are.
I only shot people. It's Cass, that's the angel.
Yeah, that one's a little harder to explain. And
Yeah.
No,
good
it's not.
news,
This
nobody's
is
going to believe him.
Why not? This is a superhero universe.
Well, that's true.
Like, yeah, he had wings, and I think he was an angel, and they're like, oh crap, not another one.
All right, so you guys will make your getaway. And with that, we will move on to the next phase of this thing, which is going to be the investigation. So, all right, we have a case here, and the case in this particular is the human trafficking operation. Who's in charge? Where were they going? Who are they delivering? What were they delivering? What were they delivering to? So at this point, I am going to have you guys tell me what clues you found so far.
So the clue board is completely black for me, so it might be loading.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ditto.
You might need to turn on vision.
Why would that be the case? That doesn't make any sense.
No, but the lighting, you might you might have lighting checked.
No, it's not on.
Okay.
Well, shit. Well, it's public. Why wouldn't you be able to see it?
I don't know. Drop
About
one
now?
of our tokens onto the map.
That do anything?
No. Is it a big image?
It added
No.
the ping stuff at the top.
Is the image layers shared to players?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That does not make any sense. I can't imagine why you would not be able to see it. And that's going to be a real problem.
Do you have any like lighting effects or anything like that turned on?
No, there's nothing turned on here.
Nothing masked?
No. It's nothing but an image stuck on here. Well, a number of images.
And are any of the images particularly large? Might be taking a while to load.
Sorry, Phil came in here. And, I don't know what to do.
So image layers, there's no weirdness you've got happening on image layers?
Well, define weirdness.
I don't know, some settings
Okay.
or something.
Let's go ahead and take a intermission.
Well, we're 5 minutes out.
Well, I've got to finish this.
Yeah.
All right. Intermission. Going on break.
Yeah, sorry about that. Do not know what happened. All right, so back to what I was doing. I wanted to have you identify what clues you think you have found in this case. Now, one thing that we do know is that we have an image. So we know that this guy is the shot caller. He has been identified as the boss. So that's clue number one. All right, what else have you got?
The thumb drive.
Got the thumb drive. So we haven't gone over what was on it. And again, I'm kind of abbreviating this a little bit. Normally I'd probably go through all the deduction rolls and shit like that. I'm just hand waving that stuff for the time being, just for demo purposes. But you do have the thumb drive. So at this point, You three here don't have the ability to do anything with that. It is encrypted, and it'll be immediately apparent that that's the case. However, Wash does have a contact that could
Yep.
do that. So, assuming
If I can
Wash
get in
gets,
touch with him.
and as it happens, you are in Night City. You could actually just hop over there and hand that over to him. So, assuming you guys do that, and we will assume that, you are at least going to get some information off the thumb drive. And
Also laptops.
so, what you will get
Okay.
from both the laptops and the thumb drive together is you have 5 delivery addresses that were one each for each of the box trucks, and also instructions for the drivers at those addresses. Go here, wait, blah, blah, blah. So that is a major clue. So you now have a pretty good idea where they were going. Those 5 addresses are distributed around Motor City, and I'll get more into that in a bit. But so that is one clue that you have. All right. So what else have you got?
The zip ties and the syringes, which I imagine they must be like
Okay.
centralized or something.
So the injectors.
Yep.
At that point, again, the 3 of you together don't have any expertise in chemistry or anything like that. You'd have to find a contact that can handle that. I don't know of any contacts that you guys have that are specifically medical.
No, I've only got the one contact.
I have the hobos, not very medical, I think.
No, they're not really.
A question. Would a criminology role help me in any way with that? Maybe, of course, not guessing what the things are, but at least having a ballpark.
Well,
I'm stretching my note.
yes. You can make some assumptions about what they are exactly, but in order to get the specific clue here, you are going to need some expertise. What I will do in this case is say that Eddie may have somebody that he can talk to, and so we'll assume that that's the case. You guys can get in contact with Eddie. He says, "I know somebody that can look into that. They'll analyze the compounds, and it is in fact a cocktail of sedatives and some other stuff in there." And good thing that Eddie was involved there, because he was the one that knew everything about buyers, and we'll say that that is in fact an MO of buyers. So that is another major clue. And at this point, you're got a higher certainty level of this guy's buyers. All right, what else do you have?
Yes, they're a highly organized network.
Yep, that's one. All right. Anybody can think of another one?
Dude has superpowers.
Yeah.
He did have superpowers, as far as you can tell. Although that's not well, that does not actually figure into the buyer's MO, but that is something to take note of for later. Might explain why he gets around the way he does.
Yep.
Tell you what, I will give everybody a retroactive perception roll. And if you succeed, guess maybe IQ roll would be more appropriate there, but either one will work here.
I was also going to say drone footage that might be available.
They did not actually have the drone.
Okay.
So everybody made it at least by a little. You will have noted that all the captives at the storage yard, none of them spoke English. And in fact,
Mm,
hardly any of them spoke the same language. But they were definitely all foreigners.
okay.
Now, unfortunately, you didn't spend enough time there that you could interview any of them. The few that might have spoken at least some English, but they're definitely from all over. They're not local to Motor City, as far as you can tell. So that would have gone back to your knowledge of hidden lore vampires. You would say that this is actually a thing that vampires do a lot. So they don't shit where they sleep. So that would be another clue. All right. What else have you got?
Are we fairly certain that he's working for someone above him?
Well, so Eddie's information about buyers was that he is a fixer, which typically means he works by contract for other people to handle acquisitions, that sort of thing, arrange things. So, yes, he inevitably will work for somebody. And his information was also that he works with vampires. And that's
Yeah.
also not unusual. So that fits his MO and is another point pointing toward this actually being buyers.
I don't know if this could count as a clue, but I think we could extrapolate that they have more than one of those houses that we just raided throughout the city.
That is probably true, and that would fit into this is a well-organized operation.
From the interrogation, Cass learned that these dudes don't reach out to them, they're reached out to.
Mm-hmm.
So that means there's
See.
some sort of network that is doing that. But I guess that goes back to our highly organized.
They did say
Okay.
it was text or whatever, a phone call.
Okay, in that case, since we've
It
got
was
their burner phones, we should be able to have that phone number.
it's a
probably
distributed.
also a burner, but
Jobs are distributed amongst other groups. So on this occasion, it was this guy or this group, but it could be another group.
Yeah, so you did get that they didn't know each other, and they said that they don't get called twice for the same job. So outside of that, you do have the actual locations themselves. So you did get the major clue of the 5 locations, but the locations themselves may point to something. We'll deal with that in a minute. But at this point, so you've gathered all those clues, you've got your facts together, and at this point, we'd be doing the deductions. And the way the deductions work is it's what the characters know, as opposed to the players. So if the players are guessing correctly, for example, if you all thought he was buyers in the first place, you get a +4 to the deduction roll that he is in fact buyers.
I've forgotten about the name buyers because it's been so long since we played.
Yeah. Me too.
And to be fair, when you say buyers, I was thinking BUYERS.
Yeah.
Like
me as well.
Yeah.
So he's the buyer.
Funny story
right?
there, but that was actually how I was referring to him initially, and that changed. But I kept the name sort of. So at this point, you guys would have made your deduction rolls, and if you could act on that information at this point, but you would potentially consider this case closed. So I'm going to consider this particular case 0 closed. You have him, you have the operation, you answered basically all the questions that you were expected to answer here. Who, what, why, when, where. The only thing you don't have is specifics on who he was delivering to. But one can make some extrapolations there.
Politicians.
So you've got the drugs that he gave the captives, the fact that they were being delivered in vans to specific locations in Motor City, that
You find
Yeah.
out what those locations are.
the fact that they come from different places and they're delivered remotely like this does suggest not only vampire provisions, but an organized vampire element, which shouldn't surprise any of you guys, but that does point to that. So, case closed in this case. You now have new case. So now you have 5 locations around Motor City that you've been given to, or that you have, where the trucks were supposed to have gone. So they did not get there. Now, hopefully this one will bloody work. Everybody see this?
Nope.
Black at the moment. Could be
No.
loading.
Son of a bitch. What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Okay.
Alright, so when I expanded it, I actually got the same errors I got last time.
What the fuck happened?
No head found. Cycle or invalid data.
I had to be what happened was when whatever happened to that one image where it started freaking out, it had to have broken the data. Like it screwed up the XML.
Okay.
And it's affecting the other maps. Okay, well,
Well, these script errors are definitely Fantasy Grounds internal stuff. It's not rule set stuff.
right. So I can do some of this relatively quickly, so I'm going to grab that. Okay, and make sure you can see that. You got the map?
You can see
Yep.
that.
Okay, so, all right, that's that.
That needs to be on the layer below because it's behind the image.
No, it is not.
I saw you moving the road maps or something like that, but it disappeared behind the sort of map image. So your roads at the moment are behind. That's the way I see it.
That's not true.
Try switch the layer order.
Well, then it will be true.
Okay, now I can see the road maps and stuff.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
Is it backwards?
Okay. What else did I need to show on there? So that is okay. Can you see that?
The
You should
little
have
Yes.
little blue markers on there.
Yep.
Okay, I think it was just being weird. All right, so mental note, those are the locations of all the friendlies, the auxiliary characters. I meant to show this last, but this is the new locations that you just got in the orange markers.
Yep.
And the green markers here are all your locations. So you got Wash's dorms, the college, you've got Robert's house and his storage locker, the church there for Cass, and later on we'll put Eddie's stuff back on there, although his is there, it's just ghosted out. So you can see the locations of the deliveries in relation to where you live.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not going to add the rest of it here, but I will make a note here temporarily. Where's this stupid? For Robert's purposes, the current pointer ping is that's where the 8th precinct is.
Okay.
So it's up in that corner. All right, so that long way around, unfortunately. So you can see the orange markers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I want to know at this point, now that you see the locations, is how you want to address those.
Stake them out.
Like, are you going to... Which one do you go to first?
1.
I was going to say 5 because it's farther away from the others.
Or maybe I should actually show you them first. So,
Yeah, first I'd want to like Google the addresses and find out what's
so if you
what's
Google
there.
the addresses, so here's number 1. Damn it, wrong. I keep wanting to do the menu just share. So this is location 1.
That's a church.
That is actually a cemetery.
Ah,
Mm.
Location 2. Location 3.
fancy.
And note on location 3, the instructions include a parking sticker, and instructions are to go to a certain parking spot in a garage. So 4. And again, this one has specific instructions to go under the bridge, and there are a number of fenced off areas around here where the gates are supposed to be unlocked so they can actually transit through. And pretty much all these cases, they end with, and wait there for someone to meet you. And number 5.
Mm. I'm tempted between 2 and 5. Definitely not 3.
All right. That's Robert. Anybody else got an opinion?
Well, now that I see it's an actual graveyard, I am sort of tempted to do 1, but 1 or 5. 5 honestly makes the most sense for us because we're still kind of figuring this crap out, and they're really far away from everybody. We have no idea if these guys coordinate, and like if we hit 1, if 2, 3, and 4 could send somebody, send assistance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. What about Cass?
Cass is curious as to the cemetery, and I guess he will take it on board that 5 makes sense in the event that they are sending backup and stuff.
Okay.
But we can safely assume that any of these locations now know that shit's not happening.
They are going to know pretty quick. So the scheduling on those was the deliveries were expected around after midnight the next day. So, yeah, they'll know pretty soon that those deliveries aren't happening, and there's a good possibility that these won't be active anymore, assuming they were doing regular deliveries, which you don't actually know at this point. That
Well,
said,
they would have also seen that the whole thing was a bust.
yeah. So we're leaning towards 5 as a first attempt, and you guys are also talking about just standoff.
Well, nothing else. At least go there, look around.
Recon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And sticking together, not planning on fanning out.
Yeah, no, you're not
Not a
splitting the
good
party.
idea.
All right.
I do have a sort of a thought about the other locations. Is like we could possibly like hit the equivalent of a hell, it could probably be a Walmart and get some of those the like small, easily done cameras, and just like
Mm-hmm.
stick them onto somewhere, so like we can have uploading to the cloud.
Okay. Well, we will deal with that later. So, yeah. At this point, and we will find out what happens at the next session of Nightcrawlers.
When we all die.
Again.
Again.
Okay.
If Cass had 15 minutes, he will
get to that in a minute.
Meditate.
All right. So, business. +1 CP for everybody for showing up. And +1 more. So a total of 2 because the case was closed. God, everybody forgot about Benny's, didn't you?
Yeah,
There were probably a couple of
today.
spots in there where you could have used a Benny.
Nope, I didn't need to.
Yeah, me neither.
Even though I did something stupid.
Well, anyway, vote for who gets the bonus, Benny.
I like Ronky's interpretation of Cassiel. I'd say Ronky.
I was going to say he could qualify for a pity point for getting shot in the back.
No, it's a style point because he turned around and just farmed the hell out of it.
Yep.
I'm good with that. You good with that? Motion and seconded.
Yep.
All right. The next question we need to answer here is: are the characters going to go straight there and start doing this, or do we allow a week to pass? Technically, you should probably. Let me take that back. So you guys are going to take a week. So this is going to happen the following week from the last one.
Yeah, because I got school.
Because you've got the analysis of the chemicals and the analysis of the computer stuff, and that's all going to take some time. So we'll assume a week passes. So at that point, it will have been a week since the deliveries didn't show. Unless you guys say otherwise.
No, that makes the most sense.
Okay.
Because we need to, like you said, we need to get the info.
So a week will pass. And yeah, Wash is the only one with a job to do. So he'll go back to school and do his school stuff.
Yeah, this is right before Halloween, so there's clearly
actually
some sort of a Halloween thing going on in school.
As it happens, a week from this date is Devil's Night.
I thought it was the first.
I like that.
Yeah, Devil's Night is on the 31st. So yeah,
but you have us on the 25th, so a week from that would be November 1.
Yeah, it's not exactly a week.
Technically, almost a week. Outstanding.
Yeah, so it's effectively going to be Halloween and Devil's Night. So there may be some fires. Yeah. So, we'll deal with the individual issues regarding planning and procedure for the recon on these places. But we have a order of priority here, so we'll assume that that's going to be in place. If you guys change your mind, do let me know because it will matter. I need to be able to get ahead of you guys.
We're going to wait until right before the game.
Okay, 2 more things I need to do real quick. I need a duty roll in the box from Cassiel, and I need a secret roll in the box for Wash.
Did that actually roll? No.
Yes, and I used my dice. Oh, wait. That was not you.
That's because it's a secret roll.
I grabbed
it's the GM rolling.
Well, I guess that's true. Ish.
My secret.
Okay.
I'm immortal. I have inside me the blood of kings.
All right. That's those rolls, and I think that's it. Anybody have any questions at this point before we go?
Yes.
Do not.
I'm going to roll luck on that duty roll to roll 3 times, and I want to take the I want to take the time where it gets triggered, if possible.
Take the time.
I want to take the roll that is 6 or less.
Right.
So I'm trying to luck that my duty will activate.
I don't know that that's necessarily lucky.
And I am going to roll.
It may not be lucky, but it'll be interesting.
I don't know if that actually will come up, but
Oh, okay. Well, we would actually check that. We would check that in game anyway. All right. Right. So, questions? Anything?
Not so far,
No.
I think.
All good.
All right. If you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Like and or subscribe to encourage us to keep going. And thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye-bye.